Fun show today. Let's get things rolling.
Has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Across the middle, it is caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin.
Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl.
Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
Baldwin beaten. The result has come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest. 992 the Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba. Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
Welcome into the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. I am Chad Brilliante. Glad to be with you here as always. We're ready to have some fun. Joining me, co-host, and had some fun rocking it yesterday for the Cat Country CMAs. We were out there today. I'm not going to ask because, when somebody asks a question, you're not wearing any of your team gear, but then the next question could be, well, you're not wearing any of the team gear we can see. So that we're not going down that path. But I'm wondering. Is this the first week without Oregon? That is not an. You're not going to convince me like that is the fish that the Oregon duck. That's the one he loves to eat out there in the pond. That's a Wahoo's hat, correct?
Yeah,
I was going to say.
Wahoos.
Okay, Jeff Price, by the way, what's happening, my friend?
Not a whole lot. It's funny you say that.
So no Oregon today. We're making that clear. Okay.
Look, I'm trying to give people a break because I'm sure they're so sick and tired of it.
A lot of these people on radio are like, I don't even know what's happening right now.
Well, they hear Oregon enough anyway.
I see what you say.
No, but I walk in the studio and everybody, first thing they say, wait, no Oregon? And I was like, you know what? I feel bad now. I feel like I let Oregon down.
No, I think you're okay. You didn't leave Oregon down.
But I got my UWF blue right here, my blue shirt, and then I've got my Pensacola blue Wahoos. So I'm going local.
There you go. Going blue today.
There
I like that right there. Singing the blues as you guys were number 6. And
We've been singing the blues.
A lot to get to today. We're going to get into more of the conversation. Somebody go out there and find Kirk Herbstreit's Twitter account and just go, no, I'm kidding. I got a lot of repercussions. And look, usually when I say something out there, I don't think I ever go to social media to post something just to post it. I've worked with many people. My sources. Who? Well, there's a guy at the Nabisco Cheez-It factory down there who saw something inside a box and talked to the grandmother of Tiger Woods and said, I'm just saying, there might be a kid on the way. I'm not getting that. I'm talking about actually using people within the city of where that team is to say things. And I remember talking to, it was a Golden Chief, and it was somebody within Tallahassee that works in sports that was saying, look, Bob Stoops this is really happening. I wasn't in Tallahassee. I was sitting on the couch watching the Black Cat get memes made about him on Monday Night Football with the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. That's where I was. So I go ahead and post that, and all of a sudden the backlash. Even my brother, who was the first, by the way, I feel like we need to get him on the show, not to talk golf because we don't talk too much golf at this time of the year, just to go ahead and get him on there to handcuff him into a segment of saying, you know what, how do you feel now? Because it's not going to happen as of today, but there's a good possibility of everything we're hearing that Bob Stoops still is the number one target and that they're working out the details to make it happen. And it could happen as soon as the end of the weekend. And I really, truly believe I'm not going against the story. I never actually deleted it. I wouldn't do that. If I'm wrong, when Chris Mortensen went out there and wrote Michael Crabtree is a New England Patriot. And I was like, oh, this is sweet. That was still the good version of Michael Crabtree we liked coming out of Texas Tech. He was going to get drafted by the Pats. They were trading for him. I was like, yeah, like Scott Cochran from Alabama, like, yeah. I was like all pumped. And then the next thing you know, all that Red Bull feeling like Edo was gone. And the truth was he wasn't going to go. But Mort saw all these youngins around him, like Adam Schefter, these guys out, Jason Luckenfora, all these people start posting things, Ian Rappaport, beating him to the punch. And these old fellas, the Ed Warders, the guys like Chris Mortensen, are sitting there going, man, I got to report on this. So they put it out there because they heard somebody say something, a reliable source say something, but it was enough for them to bite. And then they got caught into the new Twitter social media realm, and it wasn't good. Well, in this one, I fact-checked the people, and I sat there for about a couple days, calling it the stoop, and sitting up here and being like, man, I'm just going to eat the popcorn. We literally have popcorn downstairs, by the way, so I could get the popcorn and come back up here and say, you know what, I'm going to sit back and relax and enjoy this like the rest of you. But today, with all that being said, I'm feeling like now a little of that feeling that I felt like, man, really? Was I really going to be wrong? It's feeling a little more confident today because I truly believe, Jeff, from what I'm reading again, and I'm saying this right at the start of the show at 5:04, that I believe that Bob Stoops will be the next Florida State head coach.
Well, yeah, and the rumor is that the latest would be beginning of next week. But, you know, he was quoted yesterday on ESPN Central Texas, their radio show over there, that he said, well, you know, they asked him about getting back into football. He said, well, you never know what the Lord's going to bring you. Everybody wants to define your life at every age. He said at 50, they wanted me to know what I was going to do the rest of my life. 55, and now at 59, everyone thinks you got to know. He said, who knows what I'll be doing next year or the year after? You don't know what you're going to be doing next year, and the good Lord is the only one who knows. We'll see where things end up for me. And I think the end of that, you could have ended with, and the good Lord only is the only one who knows, but he adds, we'll see where things end up for me.
You know, and the whole good look. We were talking yesterday down there. As congratulations, by the way, to Cat Country, the CMA Awards. That was pretty cool. They're already back. I swear, I don't know how. This is the hardest working group. Sometimes, like, I'm not gonna lie, when you have so many different stations, there's days where you have good days, there's days you have bad days. But one thing that I can say, no matter what, with this company is the people here never stop working. Literally,
That's so true.
But Dave and Mary were actually back on a plane flying back, and they're in their office. Like when I got in this morning, I was like, I just watched you on TV in Nashville. What is this? Like, you know, I would have been that person like tomorrow with like the Instagram post, like, woo, look at this. Out here with Hank Williams. Be like, psst, Chad, that's not really Hank Williams. You know, like, woo, you know, like out there, Predators game tonight. Like they're back here at the office and typing up there. But it was really cool to see Dave, Mary, Brent, Candy, everybody up on stage. And what an honor. That was a great honor yesterday, not only for our stations as Cat Country News Radio and ESPN Pensacola, all part of the same, but also to just see Pensacola being represented as the country music station of the year. So,
and it's
becoming
awesome. a recurring theme for Cat Country.
Yes, and we got free pizza out of it. We were down there, got some free pizza with the cat.
Yeah.
There you go. A good party at Wild Greg's last night and had some fun. But I'm telling you, though, today everybody wants to put the stories out there, but and Kirk Herbstreit wasn't officially wrong, but I want to make sure he was the one. All of a sudden, it's like Kirk Herbstreit has become sort of when people of that power. We are local sports radio. People come here to talk, and we had Coach Shinnick on earlier, talking to Pete Shinnick earlier on Talk Football with Coach K. Jim Haslett, former Saints coach. We'll get to more in studio. Joe Theismann in studio. We get to talk to a lot of cool people. Our job is fun. But the difference is, you know, we'll talk about the local news, but I still will text Brian Ahats as the games are happening this week. And he said, Chad, legitimately all four teams. We've got Northview going on the road. We've got Escambia, Pine Forest, and Catholic, who are all hosting people. You got the Trinity Catholic game. You also have the game between Escambia's taking on the team that beat Washington last week in Maitland out of Daytona. And then you got the matchup with Godby and Pine Forest. So all of those games, and then Vernon will take on Northview. That's the one road game. But he's like, hey, all four teams are probably going to win this week. He's like, I'm confident all four of our local teams should win. To the fact that I say, Brian, I trust you because that's what he does. I mean, that's what he wakes up in the morning and does high school sports. We cover a lot across the ground. You and I both, our expertise is in baseball, in background in baseball. We could sit here and talk hours of the MVP race, who won the awards, getting into the bottom of not only who deserved the awards, but watching them every single game. But still, you go to the experts on this. And when I went to the experts that I know and trust on Florida State, they came back with, yeah, look, Bob Stoops is the guy we want, and that's what we're going to do. If we bought out and spent the money, Spanx went out there and said, cha-ching, helping that and making sure this happens, they weren't going to half it. They weren't just going to do that and then stop. You don't go out there and you don't tear down what is still a pretty good building, not to put up one of those sweet buildings and say coming soon, and we all drive by that picture of this like plaza with the water fountain. You're like, oh my gosh, either that's the best artist in the world or this place is going to be awesome. Like when Southtown was getting built and some of those places, we go by there and like, this is going to be awesome, man. It turned out to be pretty cool. Traffic's got a little crazy, but it's turned out to be pretty cool. I just look and say, for all the people at the beginning that I said, there's no way these people didn't have the information. These were good sources in Tallahassee. And it looks like it's coming back sort of in a 180 here, and that 180's turned into a 360. And I was just trying to save my math problem there. But clearly the point here is it does look like from the reports, and it's not official at all. This is not official, so don't be tweeting out any of this crap. But Chad said this because that's not happening. But it looks like it's back on Bob Stoops is the guy, and then everybody else would be secondary if it doesn't get done.
Well, you figure
to Florida State.
And it was important what you said, too. They spend all that money to buy him out. Obviously, with a program like FSU, they're not just going to have some secondary hire. A lot of people talking, like the Matt Campbells of the world at Iowa State and stuff. That wasn't going to happen. That even if they didn't get who they wanted, they're going for a knockout hire at this point. When you spend that kind of money, you're serious, and everybody's on board with it. And I think when you heard Stoops in the beginning, at that point, you might as well have set it in stone. It was just a matter of getting the details done. And that's why it just doesn't surprise me that we're hearing it again now as they're supposedly trying to finalize everything. I mean, it's kind of for them, it's Stoops or bust. Because for that type of hire, I just don't know who else you go to.
Seminole fans, 850-623-1330 is the number, 850-623-1330. At this point, though, we've talked about it, but as a fan, is this the guy? Because he's 59 years old. That's not old anymore. My dad's still out there at 63 doing, like, surfing videos and stuff, and I'm like, first off, didn't even know you knew how to work a phone, and why is it in the water? That's the first part. I think it's a GoPro, but it's funny how our mindset of when we were kids. I looked at 50 as like the hover round commercials, like Grandma, she falls on there, and then like LifeLock, make sure your grandparents are taken care of, and be like, that's what you thought of at 50, like one of those kind of.
That might be us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
the people that start dinner at 4:30, like that's what. Now at 50, you see the guys at the gym like outballing you, like fadeaway threes. Like Herschel Walker's 50, guy could play in the NFL still. He's 53 or something now. Mike Gundy, he's a man. He's got a sweet mullet. He's got to be around 50 now because he said he was 40 a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it's changed a ton. But when you're 59, that's not too old. Bob Stoops is not looked at as the older generation of coaching. The older coaches on the sidelines are the coaches that look like Bill Schneider.
Yeah.
That's old right there. Not the guy that still looks like he's got a little pep in the step. Nick Saban sort of fools us with Just for Men, but he's 67.
Yep.
And nobody is like, Nick's past his prime. Get that guy. Get him a soup. Get him at 7:30. Get him a bed. Nobody talks about that. Yeah. Nobody's like, oh, Alabama plays tonight at 8. I don't think Nick's going to be there for that one. Like, no, this is not, that age is not, 59's fine. So anybody that's complaining about the age, that is not old. He still's got as much as he wants in there. The difference is, does he want to put that effort? Does he want to? And honestly, the Bob Stoops saga in general of stepping away, or did he step away, is one of the most head-scratching ones that sort of faded in sports, because most of the time there's a silver lining. Whether Urban Meyer says he, quote, retires like Brett Favre 19 times. He owes me that dish I sent him, by the way. I sent him that nice porcelain. Congratulations on your retirement gift. Have not got that back. I want that back. He's going to USC. But Urban Meyer, we knew, after everything that was in the news with Zach Smith, after everything that was happening with, the 2-week hiatus of them making the decision whether he was going to be there, and then they have him go out there and go to leadership classes. He was teaching leadership classes.
Eye rolls.
Did anybody that's a good idea? That's the class. I mean, as a kid, if I was at Ohio State and Columbus, I'd take that class. I'd be like, I want to hear what's happening here. Like, what is Urban going to tell me on integrity? And when I was at Florida, after the 30-second arrest, I really, truly knew that's when I had the full look. All these jokes aside, Urban Meyer, I'd take him in a heartbeat as a coach. He does a incredible job at his job. But from the teaching leadership classes, look, Ty Cobb's got a statue of him outside of Comerica for the Detroit Tigers. Guy was a hell of a baseball player, one of the best ever. He also drank a pint of whiskey in the dugout and stabbed people with his cleats.
Yes.
And beat up people in the locker room. These stories have all been written. So that's a guy as a statue. Drank a pint of whiskey, stabbed people with cleats, and would beat up his teammates. Today, you would go to jail for that. The difference is we look at his baseball records and say, woof, Hall of Famer right there.
Yep.
And Urban Meyer as a coach is one of the top 10 of all time. So would you want him right there? Yeah. If you're a team trying to win some football games, Arkansas, Florida State, if you said you don't want him, you got better morals than I do, brother, because if you want a football coach that hasn't, frankly, done anything from murder or rape or things that you don't like, I'm not saying, bring them on, let's ignore that. Ignore that. No, those kind of things, you're not welcome around. Yeah. But if it's something where it's like you turned a blind eye to a story you might have heard of or said that you were going to retire and you didn't, those kind of things, it's like Antonio Brown. He's a diva. Look, he is a diva, but Antonio Brown hasn't actually done anything besides maybe that story, if it was true, with his trainer. That was serious stuff. But talking about his helmet and these things we made a deal of, that's not not welcome back in the NFL status because you talked about you want a different helmet and act like a diva. That's crybaby stuff that hopefully you get over.
Can you call him by his new name now, Chef Antonio Brown? Did you see that?
Is that what he really wants to go by?
Yeah, he's talking about doing these cooking shows and all that kind of Question, would you watch Chef Antonio Brown?
I would watch it if the show was based on different types of ways to make meals, pretty much because he doesn't have a job. For people that don't, if you have time like me, if every segment would have to be people, if you're watching my show and you don't have time like me because I have no job right now, here's a great dish. It takes about 4 hours to cook. But you're going to be home.
You got nothing going on.
I'll make a good 9-hour casserole like me while I sit there, wake up early.
And just get on Twitter?
Start with Twitter. I go to social media, might take a restroom break, check on the casserole, come back on the couch, tweet a little more, maybe go on a walk by myself because nobody likes me where I am. I got a lot of money, so I sit on the bed and throw money that I've made in the NFL up in the whee, like I'm sitting there as a kid that just won at the Toys R Us. And that's what happened. So there you go. But it's just, we'll see at this point if this is going to happen. But I really, truly believe from what I've seen and what I've read today that there's a good chance by at least Monday that Bob Stoops is going to be around.
Rumor, and this is complete rumor,
yeah,
is that it's 5 years, $35 million is what's coming out. Now, regardless. And here's the thing. So with Stoops being 59 years old, if you're like, oh, well, he's too old or whatever, you're crazy, first off. It doesn't matter if the man's 89 years old. He's a proven winner. Stoops has done nothing but win. He's recruited well and everything. So if you get 5 years out of Stoops, he turns your program around in 5 years and makes your program one of the top commodities. Let's just say that you only get him for 5 years. Now you're going to be able to get any coach because every coach will want to go there. I just think that's, for FSU, that's just an awesome hire if they can get Stoops, if they can finalize that deal. I really like it, especially when you look at who else could you really go get.
I think that's where you look right now and you say, if you're Florida State, you're not getting P.J. Fleck.
Nope.
And then the names become Matt Campbell and Mike Norvell, which, look, they've done a good job at their respected schools, but here's the difference. Those are also guys that aren't proven to play at the top level. They've never won. Not one of them has ever won anything of significance at the Power 5 level. So think about that. Think about that. Even Jimbo Fisher, say what you want, after the divorce, he never was the same. I mean, that was clear. Anybody that knew the story, after the divorce and everything that happened, he was never the same guy at Florida State. So it took a toll on him. He wanted out. He got over to College Station, got paid, and really, frankly, everyone's like, I think they've underachieved. No, they got beaten by exactly who you thought they would get beat by. Think about who they've lost to. What do they have, 3 losses this year? They've lost to Clemson, to Alabama, and they lost Auburn. They haven't played LSU yet. But those 3 teams are teams that you legitimately think that Texas A&M would lose to. So it's not like they've done anything out of the realm.
Yeah.
They lost to exactly who we thought they lose to, except for the fans that were a little bit like, I paid this guy a lot of money, he needs to beat Clemson. No, you're not that good, Jared Hawker. Sorry, you're just not. So if you look, though, at a guy like Bob Stoops, that is a name polarizing that can get there. The two difference, and Jeffrey D just weighed in. Jeff is usually a voice of knowledge coming in. And he goes, the Dallas XFL job is just 4 months, while college would be a year-round job for recruiting. And that's exactly what Bob Stoops said. He said the rat race he wanted to get away from. See, but that's another thing. I don't think that's why he got away. I think there was a closed-door meeting to say, hey, everybody that walked around that campus, they realized Lincoln Riley was a better football coach. I truly believe that. I think people said, we got the best coach as an assistant. That we're not going to make a coach in waiting. But Bob Stoops at this point, already you can see the writing was on the wall. So they sort of, to me, they probably fed the hand as he was getting tired. He was going through that. He needed a break. And this was the perfect time for it.
Yeah.
But this is what I would say to Jeff. And Jeff, like I said, I respect the heck out of everything he says, and that's a good point. To the point I would make to rebuttal that is, if you made that comment, then you are making the comment that you would rather coach for 4 months and not a year. So it should be irrelevant what the team is, or the irrelevant what the money is, which is obviously not true, because the one thing we do know is Bob Stoops is being talked to. John Thrasher was in Dallas. This is happening. Like that. I'm not saying today that he is their head coach, but the negotiations and the talks to Stoops and him hearing them and responding and this happening. This is happening. That I'm saying, it is happening right now. So for him to hear all of this, no matter what happens, whether he's the coach or not, he's lied about that. Or not lied, but I guess gone against his words. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not. It's at one of those kind of things where if you are somebody like Bob Stoops, you've already, with your words, whether you're the coach or not, by hearing out Florida State and doing that, you've taken what you talked about for 4 months, and that's sort of out the window.
Yeah. Well, and at this point, it's just hard to see it any other way, because I feel like Stoops, with that interview like he had yesterday on ESPN Central Texas, that if there was no truth to this, if he wasn't interested, he would have just went ahead and tore it down right there. Been like, hey, I hear all this stuff, but no, I'm good. And the other thing is with FSU, I think they're going to give him whatever he wants, just for the fact that they just can't afford to swing and miss anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, they just cannot. There's no way.
I would agree.
If you swing and miss with Bob Stoops, well, you know what? You gave it your best
It
shot
could be done.
at least.
And you know what? They've only and the thing that people don't know is they've only swung and missed one time. But that was the only time in the history of Florida State football that they truly had to sit down about a decision.
Right.
Think about that. You had Bobby Bowden forever. I mean, forever.
Forever.
And then you had a coach in waiting that a lot of people don't like, but the coach in waiting was Jimbo Fisher. So the decision already been made there. So the only hiring that they've ever had to do, like an actual sit down together, coming to Jesus type moment, was Willie Taggart. So on Family Feud right now, they got one big fat red X right there on the screen. They don't want to get two. You get two, now people are like, all right, the other family's already starting to chat. We're going to get this one. Yeah, oh, yeah, we got that. You get two, you're already on there. Probably the third strike, if that guy didn't work out, Florida State, you're going to go down a path of who knows at that point. But they cannot afford right now to get another X. And Bob Stoops, even though I'm not going to say that, he's the best coach of all time. He's a good recruiter. He's solid. He's had his ups and downs. We sort of joke because big game Bob doesn't win the big game. But he's better than any of the other choices I've heard so far. You're not going out there. You're not getting Urban Meyer. He's not going there. You're not getting a guy – John Gruden's off the market to just put his name, but he wouldn't have been there anyway. All of this. Deion Sanders wasn't an actual candidate, folks. Stop. But this can happen. And the talks are happening. I believe it will. I'm telling you now, not from them, but what I've read today and the respect out of people I have, Scott Rosman, who works down the road in Panama City, sort of like the Panama City Dan Shugard for sports. I've worked a lot of events with him. He said this morning that, look, Thrasher's going to Dallas. They're bringing back Stoops, and this is what they're talking about. They're talking about getting it done. People, and he's a little bit closer over there. They cover, right? But I'm telling you, a lot of other people, like I'll name drop people that I've read articles from the Golden Chiefs and the people that are telling me other details that are even better details. I'm not going to get involved because there's still a lot of negotiations, and it's their money, so I don't want to mess that up.
Well, the other thing too is the ACC is not world beaters right now.
Not at all.
Outside of Clemson, who could, if FSU, you look at them, who could they not beat in the ACC or be competitive, very competitive with, other than Clemson? And I know they've lost games, but I'm talking about like get them another coach, whatever. And the other thing I think is a good point you made was they had Bobby Bowden forever. Jimbo Fisher was in waiting, and then that Taggart signing surprised a lot of people. Yeah, they were like, "Whoa, where was this?"
They could have got 50% off that deal,
right?
It could have been. They could have done that. Yeah.
So it was like that Flash Friday deal. Yeah. Oh yeah, get Taggart now. Okay.
What do they call that, by the way?
What?
I was gonna. Never mind. The top.
Oh jeez.
What's the name of that event? I was leading you into one that you.
No,
it's some day after Thanksgiving. What was that day he got hired on that? No, never mind. All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll get to more on the big games coming up, Pittsburgh and Cleveland. And, what's that day? If somebody could text in, what's that? Foosball. Go Tigers right here. It's the Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola.
Hello, everybody. You're looking live at Fansville, a college football utopia.
Fansville.
Where the rivers flow with ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
Delicious.
Where every day is Saturday and everyone's a fan, even babies.
Fan babies.
And the seasons never change because the only season is college football season. Get a taste of Fansville this fall during a college football game near you. Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. Grab some today.
Guys, the secret is out. If you want healthy sex, your body needs nitric oxide. And now you can boost your nitric oxide production faster than you thought possible with Ageless Male Tonight, the absurdly fast formula from the #1 brand in male enhancement. Just take one capsule an hour before romantic activity. You'll get clinically tested ingredients that rapidly boost nitric oxide production, and it won't go unnoticed. Rush to Walmart and get Ageless Male Tonight.
Regions wants to know, what's a financial tip you'd give your younger self?
Retirement is the best form of self-care.
Regions believes banking on your own terms is a big deal. Maybe you value great service and convenient solutions, or you simply want a banker that gets your priorities. Take control of your finances with the kind of financial clarity your younger self could only dream of.
There's no shame in showing up just for the free food.
Because some things are bigger than banking. Switch for good at Regions.com/biggerthanbanking. Regions, official bank of the SEC. Member FDIC.
Saturdays are meant for sports, so Sports Call with Davis and Justin is here to kick off your sports weekend.
College football, the NFL, the MLB, the NBA, the PGA Tour. If it's happening on Saturday, we're talking about it.
Plus, weekly interviews with the players, coaches, and fellow journalists.
Be a part of the show by calling or texting in at 623-1330.
Sports Call with Davis and Justin every Saturday from 11 to 1 on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Happy Honda Days sales event is here at Pensacola Honda. Get a 2019 Honda CR-V LX two-wheel drive for only $299 per month, $39.99 down. You own it. Or how about a 2019 Honda Accord sedan continuously variable transmission LX for only $175 a month, 36-month lease, $39.99 due at signing. Rates as low as 0.9 APR on 2019 Ridgeline models. See dealer for details. Online at PensacolaHonda.com, home of the one price, low price guarantee.
Bowling is a sport that will last you a lifetime, and at Cordova Lanes on Airport Boulevard, every night there is something exciting happening. Like on Tuesday and Thursday, it's penny a pin. Bowl 100, pay $1. Or how about starting your weekend off right by reserving a lane for just $25 at Moonlight Bowling. Enjoy a fresh-made pizza and the lowest pitcher prices in Pensacola. So what are you waiting for? It's time to roll your way into Cordova Lanes and experience fun like never before.
The Paul Feinbaum Show.
Everything you wanted to happen hasn't happened.
Oh my gosh, that's all any of y'all want to talk about is Alabama.
You're really not understanding the conversation, but anyway, we can move on.
Bama's done it. dynasty has just begun.
Hold on a second, Charles. Somebody wants to talk to you.
I don't want to talk that compelling moron.
He's nothing but a lame-headed old man.
2 till 5 every weekday afternoon. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
You out of your freaking mind, cowturd.
You're listening to Pensacola's home for hometown sports. ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM.
Can't I just read something and like it not be funny or think that way? Like, picture these waves coming up the side, and it's like Northeastern is taking a nice pounding, and I'm like, it's a weather story right there. I don't need I don't know. Welcome back.
For shame.
Such a sick brain, Jeff, you have over there. Let's get
geez.
to what's going on right now with in some other news. Pittsburgh and Cleveland tonight should be. It's intriguing. It is. I have a lot of friends that are Pittsburgh fans because they're everywhere. Nothing like in Orlando. There's more Steeler bars, by the way, in Orlando than there are just any other team. Not that Orlando, it's sort of a melting pot of fans, like Disney World fans. But when it comes down to sports, there's not. You got the Bucks, you got the Jags and the Dolphins, and they're all within about a 2.5, 3 hours. The Bucks are the closest team, but they're not. None of these guys are true fans of those teams. Now, if you look, though, at some of the other big-name teams, Steelers, Cowboys, you don't have to go far to realize that they have a lot of people that are going to be out there. Now, the Steeler fans, though, I'll never forget. I was like, can I get the Patriots game right in the corner? I was like, hey, you can get a place called Froggers. It's in Oviedo, if you've ever been there. So when they're like, can I get the Pats game in the corner? Like, everybody turned in there. Like cheers, everybody knows your name and celebrates it. Like they were like, everybody wants to throw you into the gutters in the street. And I looked over and I was like, first off, they didn't like me in my Pats gear. I mean, that was clear at that point. This was during the time of right after Cordell Stewart to Big Ben, and the like really through the wave of Tuck Rule just happened and all this stuff. So it was like, they were already pretty ticked.
I don't think it would have mattered what time it was.
Does. I don't think
yeah,
I get those looks anyway. You've watched games with me. Justin has watched games. Justin Patrick will join us in a little while to talk a little more of We Are Marshall, about Marshall and the plane crash that still to this day, the most lives ever lost in any type of sporting event, and a sad moment. Justin and his family from right there in Huntington and from West Virginia as a Marshall fan and somebody that it means a lot to him, and we're going to play that clip and talk to Justin about it coming up here, because that's something. It's not only tradition, it's something where a story like that, for them to overcome everything that happened, to be a football team, and to be not only a football team, a legit football team with people, Randy Mosses, Byron Leftwich's of the world. I know their chant, the over the top herd right here. That's I not look when I've seen plenty of it, but. It's one of those kind of stories that definitely deserves the credit. And from a standpoint of our thoughts are always with everybody from Marshall, and Justin will be sharing that story coming up. But to the story, back with Froggers, I remember everybody looking over and being like, ugh. And I realized at that point, wherever I go, I'm never going to be able to get away from what is a lot of Steeler fans around me. And tonight, even though all that being said, I'm hoping that this is a really good game. Baker Mayfield has been one of those, like, I really liked him when he was shotgunning beers, like, yeah, out there, yeah, bro, out there for Cleveland having fun. Like, that was the cool Baker. I was like, all right, man. But now he's the guy that.
The sensitive Baker.
Yeah, the one that's losing, and now he wants to look like Uncle Buck and just be like, still sort of make it a big deal. That point, you bite your lip and you just like, we're going to work harder. That's all you can tell them. Well, that's all you can tell them is like, you know what? I'm sorry. Nobody wants to hear excuses. Nobody wants to hear anything but like, you know what? We're better than this. He said they need more weapons. Like, he acted like he was saying, like, I want another play. You've got Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry. You've got Kareem Hunt. You've got now Nick Chubb. A lot of people excited about Chubb. You've got David Njoku. All these people that everybody would love to have that. Tom Brady's throwing to some clown boots that was a free agent in the draft, like named Gunnar Olszewski. You know, he's this like little white dude, looks like your CPA, and that's the guy that he's going to. You've got Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr., and you're complaining? Like, shut your mouth. So that at that moment, it goes from something where people go to, like, I felt okay. Like, I like you, Baker. I'm rooting you on. I'm not rooting against him. But nobody wants to hear I don't have the weapons when you have Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. And nobody's going to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
built-up hate right there.
Well, that's
when you brought up the Patriots thing, like you could tell it's been boiling inside of you.
Tom Brady doesn't say. He might dress like an idiot at the Met Gala, but he doesn't say any of that kind of stuff. You know, that's not.
No, I agree with you. You know, it's like, well, it was news because Baker shaved his handlebar mustache.
Yeah, whatever.
He's like, I don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Gonna be
Get out of here. Like,
you're riding a handlebar bicycle in a couple of years. If
like, what? On a side note here, by the way, you can still get tickets for like $42.
This is Jeff's. Yes, the Price is Right. This is our new segment here, where he gives us ticket seats. So you get $42 tickets as the weather drops. What are we expecting?
Well, remember earlier in the week they were like $10. I guess those got taken up. You know, because you got to pay so much for beer at a Steelers game. You know, regardless, NFL tickets are expensive anyway. So the fact that you see them for $42. Listen, I was the one in the not Ohio State, the Ohio game. I was like, dude, these tickets are $2. I would go check out an Ohio game for $2.
Whoa! The price went up to $3 though when we saw Bill Hancock on the field.
Yeah, but that was like for the 50-yard line seats.
I was sitting there. We both asked, is there a reason Bill Hancock's here? Like, there's no reason. There's no. And they just make the college football committee had just made their selection. So you're thinking Bill's a really nice
He's
guy.
Smart.
So we even Googled where he's from, and it's like Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You know, so nothing. That was his alma mater. Something like who joins us, Bill Bender from Sporting News. One of those kind of guys you Google, and he's like, oh, look at that, 1.2 million followers. Like he's the main guy for Sporting News. Well, Bill jumps on the show. We've been friends for a while, and Bill was, you know, he went to Ohio. But we joke, we used to do a segment where we would talk about all the games, and then we'd both get 30 seconds and start the watch on UCF and Ohio talk. And we'd be like, all right, are we still going to St. Pete for the bowl game? All this stuff like nobody cared about. But he actually went to Ohio. No, for the other people out there, like, why is Bill Hancock at that game?
Because he knew it could be safe there.
Yeah, probably.
If
nobody was there.
If he goes to a major college football game, they're going to be like,
that's where I need to go. You just figured it out. Because there's like I said, I'm on my third name here. When witness protection, I just go to a MAC game on like a Tuesday night.
Nobody will find you.
Man, we've been looking for Chad for. He's been on national TV every single week on MAC games. What are you talking about? Man, I can't find him.
No way. Nobody goes to those games.
I can't find him. He was at Kent State last week. Oh, God, what the? Akron next week. He was at the Akron game. He was standing at the 50. He wore the green suit, ran across the field. I've never seen
Toledo
this,
versus Miami, Ohio? No way he's at that game.
Eastern Michigan next week, yeah.
Oh,
I can't Google that. Where's the stadium? I can't. No, I'm just joking. I'm just playing with all these fans. I love y'all.
The matchup predictor, of course, when you talk about the Steelers-Browns game, it's 45 for the Steelers and then 55% for the Browns. You think that's pretty accurate?
No. And first off, after reading yesterday's ESPN mock draft indicator on Tuesday, that went bing, boom, 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 and they spit out the ball, and Penn State checking in at 4. I'm like, the All-State predictor?
Oh, yeah.
That's what they're All-State paid a lot of money. I know that. You're not in good hands with them. You're not in good hands with that pick with Penn State number 4. They just lost to Minnesota. Like, nobody, we all were like, this is terrible. That's the day, and I know maybe I get on these a little more than other people, but like Northern Illinois was the day that I knew that the BCS was a load of horse. And the reason, because it was actually not that bad, the BCS system, until I saw Northern Illinois and the Huskies by, I think, the Sagaron ratings. I still remember these. The Sagaron ratings had Northern Illinois at number 21, where a lot of people had them. They ended up playing Florida State that year in a bowl game that Florida State fans were like, oh, crap, man. We don't want the Huskies. So, they won, but they're like, we would rather beat like Michigan or Ohio State or Texas.
You won, but you didn't win.
Exactly. You don't get brownie points. You just get remembered as Boise State beat Oklahoma if you're the team that gets to play Northern Illinois. If you lose, it's like when Houston beat them in the bowl game, or when Utah beat Alabama. You're that team that everybody talks about then. So I remember it was 21 in one poll, but then they had the other poll, Colley Matrix poll, and the Colley Matrix poll had them number 4. And I was like, I don't care who you are. Nobody should have two people or systems that one is 21 and one is 4. Like, that should never happen. And that's when I knew the BCS was just full of it. So at this point, at least we have a system that's going to get something. But the All-State Matrix, the Georgia-Alabama thing, I don't mind that much. What they're saying, though, is Georgia, we're putting you ahead right now because you guys just beat Florida. You just beat a couple games where we assume Alabama's better, but we don't know because their best win is what? Their best win is who? Mississippi State? I mean, who is Alabama's best win? Tennessee? I mean, it really is right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying this. That sounds rude, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound rude when I said that?
But it's the truth. You're not trying to be rude.
I'm not.
Facts are facts at this point. Now you go and you beat Auburn and things like that, and you keep winning. Like, hey,
yeah, they've got Auburn. They've got those games left.
Listen, just keep winning. Just control what you can control, and that's
it is Tennessee. I mean, it's their best wins against Tennessee this year.
Well, on this note here, by the way, remember I've been pushing this Baylor thing out here. Just it's like your Minnesota over Penn State, but it actually worked, because Minnesota beat Penn State. Baylor plays Oklahoma, and game day is going to be there, so it's upset time.
Yeah. Breaking news, by the way, Cody Bellinger. We're all baseball guys. Look, we got 3 guys in here that all play baseball. Look at that. He's a southpaw, by the way. He's one of them. But Cody Bellinger is the first guy to win the MVP since Clayton Kershaw. So how about that?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that yesterday. MVP?
We were predicting, right?
Mm-hmm. And none of us picked Bellinger, by the way.
Well, you didn't bring up Bellinger on the list, by the way. No, you did not.
Yes, I did. Yes. Oh, here we go.
No. You name dropped. This was you name dropped the AL to me, and I said Alex Bregman.
Right, and then I said Bellinger, and I believe it was Yelich.
I didn't
and
pick
then Rendon.
I didn't pick.
You were talking about Rendon, and that's why I said it.
No. And very rarely the guy that just takes your eye in the news from a national league. Like Rendon was the MVP for the entire body of work. What he did in the World Series and what they did. But Cody in the regular season, Cody Bellinger was a freak early. Actually, if he's the reverse Jacob deGrom this year, who just won the Cy Young. Jacob deGrom started the year 3-5 with a 4 ERA, and then he just coasted the rest of the season under the radar when they were bad at like a 1.75. Bellinger started the season. He was hitting like 380 with like 25 home runs and 70 RBIs before the All-Star break. And then he dropped off. The second half of the season, which I love how they write articles because they're not going to add the hey, he's the MVP, but guess what? Second half of the season, he batted like 196. He didn't have that great of a year in the second half. Down the stretch, he did not have a great, he actually went downhill. But he had an insane first half, like the best first half you'll ever get. Like the Yasiel Puig when he came up that year, numbers that you'll never see again. I don't know that there is no judgment of how they figure this out outside of he did get more than Yelich. Yelich didn't get to play the last 3 months of the season either, so that didn't help.
Well,
or last 2 months, but
yeah, I mean, if it's one of those things, everybody says it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. Well, it kind of doesn't.
That doesn't.
That's
what I'm saying.
It's
there's no correlation between what's happening. But congratulations, Cody Bellinger. Nice guy.
He's
like a
listening
nice
to the
guy.
show.
Yeah. He had a bunch of ladies running on the field to kiss him. There was like a thing going on there. So there you go.
It was like the old Chad.
Yeah, that's right. People saw that, unlike the Eastern Michigan game I was at. All right, we're coming back for more. It's Pittsburgh, Cleveland tonight. Joining us will be Justin Patrick, the voice of high school football with Joe Ford right here on ESPN Pensacola. Him and Davis do a great job on the sports call, and Justin will break down a little of a moment on a more serious note. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody for a day remembering on this day back, 49 years ago when the plane crash that took so many lives. We're coming back for more right here on the Sports Drive.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, Craneworks. The Craneworks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give Craneworks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth-moving equipment. Call Craneworks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
This is a message for all parents. If you as an adult think it's tough being separated or divorced, have you truly stopped to consider how your being separated or divorced affects your children? How parents treat one another, either during or after divorce, can have lifelong effects on your children. Whether you are separated from your spouse or even actually divorced, in either situation, keep in mind that you and your spouse are parents forever. Hello, my name is Stephen T. Holman, and I am a family law attorney. If you have questions regarding custody, visitation, or child support, call me today for a free consultation at 435-6909. That's 435-6909.
Welcome to Moe's! Okay, hi, what are we doing today?
I need something that screams something fun. Nothing too on the face, nothing too off the face, but also totally hot.
So I have the perfect thing. It's the Moe's food mullet. You're totally business in the front, but tailgate in the back. It's a fat party. People are having fun. You know, snap. All your friends are going to be like, whoa, awesome setup. Everyone else is going to be all jelly, okay?
Just like a killer mullet, Moe's Catering will turn the back of your ride into a tailgate party that's sure to turn some heads. Just order ahead and pick it up on your way.
Moe's Southwest Grill, now open in Pace on Highway 90 next to Publix grocery store.
Guys, the secret is out. If you want healthy sex, your body needs nitric oxide. And now you can boost your nitric oxide production faster than you thought possible with Ageless Male Tonight, the absurdly fast formula from the #1 brand in male enhancement. Just take one capsule an hour before romantic activity. You'll get clinically tested ingredients that rapidly boost nitric oxide production, and it won't go unnoticed. Rush to Walmart and get Ageless Male Tonight.
Hello, everybody. You're looking live at Fansville, a college football utopia.
Fansville.
Where the rivers flow with ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
Delicious.
Where every day is Saturday and everyone's a fan, even babies.
Fan babies.
And the seasons never change because the only season is college football season. Get a taste of Fansville this fall during a college football game near you. Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. Grab some today.
There's a lot going on right now, and broadcasters are on the ground covering all of it, bringing you the weather, the traffic, and breaking news, all while entertaining you 24 hours a day. Someone needs to tell you what's going on around the world and in our hometowns. And that someone is us. We are free radio. We are always there. We are broadcasters. Visit wearebroadcasters.com or text radio to 52886 to learn more. Furnished by NAB and this station.
You're listening to Pensacola's home for hometown sports. ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Nothing like a local marching band playing a little brick house right there. When I say local, I have no clue what marching band this is at all, but it sounded cooler, you know, like, oh, my son played that. No clue who played this. Welcome back, Sports Drive right here, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM, simulcast on Blab TV, and on a day where, you know, obviously the situation right now at Marshall, one where 49 years ago, one of the most tragic incidents in the history of sports, as we've never seen something like this to this day, where the plane crash on the way to take on East Carolina, and never made it there, and the whole football team was gone at that point, and a situation where, and Justin Patrick joining us, by the way. Justin, would you like to add to this, by the way?
Yeah,
okay.
Coming from East Carolina, not going to East Carolina there. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. 49 years ago, they just lost to East Carolina, and they were heading back. It was a really crazy night, really foggy, really rainy, and plane crash, and really the town it was just pretty crazy.
And you're from Huntington, right there?
I was born in Huntington. That's where my family's from. And the plane crash was supposed to land at Tri-State Airport, which is in Canova, West Virginia, which is maybe about 20 minutes from Huntington. That's where the team always would fly to their games. And I remember watching the movie for the first time. I was in the movie. I didn't really know what the movie was about because I was about 5 years old. And so I didn't really, then I saw it was like Marshall. I was like, oh, that's like, oh, we have all that stuff hanging up in our living room. Yeah, it's all this stuff that we have. And then seeing like all that, I was like, oh, wow. So like this day, it's always been something like I feel like I can connect back with home because it's just something that's always been really important to me and my family, knowing that we're 750 miles away, but I still feel like connecting with home back there in Huntington.
Yeah, and it's something too that the movie with Matthew McConaughey and people and you know what, to the point of a movie is it's just like the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. People were like, I don't want to dump ice. It's not about that. It's about giving people. It's about it doesn't matter who played the roles. It's about letting people and educating them on a situation that was important on our history and one that, it's the ultimate story of persevering and doing something because Marshall, has become a program over time and continued, but they've also become a decent program that's been very competitive. And from a football standpoint, that whole city needed something to that matter. They needed that. And to be able to do that, facing the adversity that nobody ever wants to hear about, gosh, it's sad thinking about it, but I know being there and seeing that every day and what they've become, and a true passionate fan base, Justin, that's it's amazing. Yeah. Marshall's always going to be a fan. I hope everybody's a little bit of a fan of Marshall in sports.
Yeah, I mean, and Jack Ling was the coach there back then. Matthew McConaughey, he did a great job playing his role. But
all right.
Yeah, he did a great job doing that, and I think really Huntington, it just thrives off Marshall football. It really does. I mean, I know that's what my dad, he won't miss a game. If he's not there to be able to watch it, he's listening to it. I know that's how it is. And they've always been a solid program at Huntington. Doc Holliday, he's been there for 10 years now. And that says a lot. Being at a Group of 5 school for 10 years, coaching there, that says a lot.
He does a good job, too.
Yeah, he does a great job.
Always gets some kind of, like guys like Cato and all that. I'm like, these guys are really good athletes. How are you pulling this off?
It's from Florida. That's where he recruits heavy, is down in South Florida. That's where he gets most of his athletes from.
Making sense.
Yeah, and they do a great job. They found Tommy Schuler and Rakeem Cato at the same high school and led us to a conference championship.
I know West Virginia fans don't want to hear this, but they're probably the best team right now in West Virginia.
Honestly, yeah, I like to face them, but I know that contract doesn't start back up until I think 2022. I think it was. I know it ended like 2011, 2010 is when we stopped playing them because they didn't want to play us anymore.
A lot of classic games they don't do the Pitt West Virginia backyard brawl anymore, do they?
I don't think so.
That was a huge. I remember watching.
Weren't they both in the Big East? I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're not anymore.
There was a couple games like that. There's a ton of them that they, like Texas A&M. Gene Stallings always says that's one rivalry we'd love to see. Thanksgiving, Texas A&M was huge. We always watch, and now they don't play that because it's an SEC versus Big 12 game. But it's like they keep the rivalries as long as they're within the same conference. Think about it. Like Auburn and Georgia, even though they're cross division, a lot of times, like years like this, like Georgia's like, man, I wish we didn't have Auburn. Why didn't we get thrown Arkansas? But the thing is, that's the oldest rivalry in the South, and because it's still going on. Jeff, you've got some knowledge to drop on us?
No, you just talking about the backyard brawl, and 2022 they're starting it back up.
Oh, there we go.
Cool.
It's good to see
105th overall.
There we go. That's good to hear because tradition. When it comes to passion and tradition in football, like Arkansas will play LSU coming up, and you got games like Missouri, Arkansas, and some of these.
Does Arkansas really want to do that right now?
Yeah. Why did I bring up 2 Arkansas football games right now without even a coach?
I really don't know.
I'm really trying to spice up this segment. I'm
our listeners are just
Arkansas versus anybody. Be like, isn't somebody that's like a fair weather fan's like, and the team lost like 30 by Western Kentucky? That's the team. But I'm trying to give them some love here. I'm trying to. But I know they're going to do. Is there something within the town? And I know we've got to go to let's go ahead and go to a quick break. I want to get another segment in here so we can talk about it. And but this is important. I want to get to more on the day that we remember as 49 years ago. The most people in the history of sports lost their lives in the plane crash coming back from right there in Eastern Carolina to Huntington to get back to Marshall. And one we'll always remember. And I want to hear more from Justin about just what on this day, what they do to remember all the lost ones. Coming back for more, it's the Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola and Blab TV.
Imogen and I started Jewelers Trade Shop in 1956.
Our goal at Jewelers Trade Shop has always been to give our customers the best experience imaginable. It's something that my grandfather instilled in my father, and without a doubt, my father has passed on to me. Those basic core goals and values that shaped our business 56 years ago are still very much alive and a driving force behind Jewelers Trade Shop today.
For 3 generations, the story continues. Jewelers Trade Shop in downtown Pensacola.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
What? Why? Just wait for the inheritance. We've definitely got a rich uncle somewhere. We're one call away from the winner's circle at the Derby, dinners with multiple forks, a vacation home in the country, using summer as a verb.
You don't actually think that. Do you?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the Florida Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
Jackson Pace Pharmacy has exciting news for ED patients. Viagra 100 milligram generic is finally here. Get it today. 30 tablets for $80, less than $3 a pill. You heard right. Viagra 100 milligram generic is less than $3 a tablet. A prescription from your doctor is required, so stop by Jackson Pace Pharmacy and cash in on the savings today. 2256 West 9 Mile Road in Pensacola.
Owner-operators, are you looking to upgrade your truck driving business? Are you struggling to make ends meet with your current business model? Leasing a semi-truck from SFI Trucks is the game changer you need. Don't have perfect credit? We look at more than just your credit score. Don't want to leave the company you're currently hauling freight for? Choose the carrier you want to lease with. With low or no money down lease options, now is the time to lease a new or gently used truck from SFI. Learn more and apply at sfitrucks.com. That's sfitrucks.com.
I'm Mina Kimes, host of the new podcast, ESPN Daily. Each morning, we'll bring you a deep dive into a single story from one of ESPN's hundreds of reporters. ESPN Daily is presented by Dell Small Business. Dell's Black Friday sneak peek deals fit your busy work schedule. Save now on computers with Intel Core processors plus free shipping. Call 877-BUY-DELL. Dell Small Business Technology Advisors can help you find the right tech. That's 877-BUY-DELL. Or visit dell.com/businessdeals.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
You're listening to Pensacola's home for hometown sports. ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back. Sports Drive with you right here, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Jeff's like, this is like day 3 of chat on this random song marching band saga here. Jeff's like, what are these songs? That's what he said. And then Justin's like, what's happening right now? Why is this? But listen, if I'm going to be over here producing these buttons, you're going to listen to these marching bands. Next is Moana. You're going to get But let's get to Justin, this will be, let's get to this situation going on right now. These are the helmets, by the way, that you're wearing. Yeah, so talk a little more. I feel like I'm on a QVC. The way I'm introducing it, I feel like QVC. I'm like, please, talk about this helmet and the designs right here.
So this helmet right here, I got this is my dad's Father's Day present earlier this year. These are the helmets that they wear in the...
Better than saying it's his Christmas gift. He's like, well, thanks, son. I mean, it's see it on TV.
So these are the helmets that they'll be wearing in the game that they honor. They call it the Blackout game. It's called a Blackout Jones Stadium, and it's a game where they honor the plane crash. On the left side is a 75 for the 75 victims that died, and then the old Marshall logo, logo they wore back when they played.
It's a sweet helmet.
And then on the middle stripe is all the names of the victims who died, and then we have the quarterback of the team, Shoebridge, and then Brackett, who used to be the president of the school. And tomorrow, I'm really happy about tomorrow's game because we're playing Louisiana Tech, and they're undefeated in conference play, and we usually play our best ball in this game, whoever we're playing. And so I'm happy they're playing the best team in the conference in this game because we usually play our best ball. It's going to be at home tomorrow against Louisiana Tech. I can't wait to watch this game. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a good game, too. Yeah. Louisiana Tech, that's a pretty – I think the last time I checked, they were a favorite, right?
They're the favorite. Let's see. They have one loss. It's at Texas. So, that's a pretty good one loss. Marshall's first in the East, and Louisiana Tech's second as first in the West, undefeated. We have one loss in Middle Tennessee. Don't know how that game happened. But this game, it's going to be a great game. I can't wait to watch it. I'm really excited.
Well, it's one of these kind of moments. It's going to be bigger than football. That emotion, those kind of things, you can't put a price tag on things that are the emotional level of what it means. Everybody in that stadium is going to be rocking.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's going to be hard for another team to get like so tenacious, be like, we're going to crush them. Be like, dude, let's have a little respect for what's happening.
That's
in
why
the
I'm happy.
ceremony.
That's why I'm happy it's this game.
Well, tough situation, but I appreciate you joining us, Justin, and talking some more. You can join us when we come back if you want to break down a little more of the games and hang around. Coming back for more is Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola, and Blab TV.
Football is here. Catch all the UWF Argos games and the big NFL games every Saturday and Sunday on Pensacola's home for hometown sports. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. If you would like to be a part of ESPN Pensacola as a sponsor or promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000 or visit our website at ESPNpensacola.com.
ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Coming up here in the second hour, we're going to have some fun as we'll get to more of the big games in college football. We'll talk some Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and also as well, talk a little college football with legendary Auburn coach Pat Dye.
Has just become the NFL's all-time leading rusher. Across the middle, it is caught for the first. It's Baldwin shaking free and sprinting down the sideline for the touchdown. His third of the day. Doug Baldwin.
Derek Brooks, who ran back 3 interceptions for touchdowns in the regular season, does it to cement the Super Bowl.
Boxing's elite, the new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
Baldwin beaten. The result has come up on screens that Gatlin's taken it. Goodness me, it was a blue American vest, 992 for Gatlin. 992 by the American champion to take gold.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket at Augusta. And this time, his name is Bubba. Scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trick Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome back. Second hour. The Sports Drive goes now right here on ESPN Pensacola. Please don't do those moves. It's okay. Jeez. Please. No. It's okay. It wasn't the actual dance moves. It was more the threatening of like the hands coming. I wasn't as worried about the moves. It was in fear of getting knuckle sandwiched today while I was on air. But by the way, not that Townsend fans are listening right now. If you are like, yes, I am, be like, thank you, sir. But or man, Townsend though is they got whooped earlier by the Florida Gators in football.
Yeah,
and now they have to play them on live TV in basketball.
Well, right now they're very well into this game, Chad.
What, they have a 2-0 lead? Are they up 2-0?
Okay, Townsend got paid to go get whooped.
Do they get paid in basketball?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't know. That's a good question. I should know this. I really should know this.
Look, they stole the ball.
That's a good question on that. There's got to be some. That's a good question that I don't think I've in the history of being on radio for 13 years. Not even in like conversations, like at the bar, like how are the kids? Those college basketball teams get paid, dude. Like,
they definitely don't get paid like football. Because
there might be something. There might be like another contract going on, but I don't. If you know that, if Jeff Davis is listening, that's probably like the source, reliable. Like, go to our agent here on the phones. If you know this, please text us 850-623-1330. It's very rare in this room of knowledge. I'm not saying that. This is our job. We're pretty good at knowing these kind of things. I've got no clue how much money or if they do, and I know we can Google that. You both are Googling it right now. I can tell.
Well,
what is the answer in here?
No, you just know I'm looking up.
No, that's okay.
I'm looking here.
Look,
okay.
we actually now at this shot. we are seeing exactly what Justin's doing right now. So if you were like texting your girlfriend or something, see that. Look at that. We were joking with the cameras and how they work in here. We can zoom in.
Yeah.
And I was going to do like a trivia question with Jeff, where it's like, Jeff, for $100, I guarantee I'll get all of them right, and then just keep on panning in on that camera button, and then just right to his computer, like in like bold font right there. Be like, just hit that other button real quick, like dun, 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 dun. Yeah, he's exactly right there. But I've even got shots you don't even know. Look at that. But yeah, we're watching you everywhere.
What's going on?
Where am I right now? I don't like this. It's what's the official answer on this?
Well, no, I don't have the official answer.
Yeah.
I want to talk about
all
something
right, then
crazier
let's move
than
on
that.
here. I don't have time for
Listen,
this.
Buffalo plays Kent State tonight. Not that anybody in the world cares. And on that note,
no, but that witness protection.
yeah,
that's where I'm going. That's where I need to go. This is where I'm going to be. What do you mean?
No, you can't afford this one. Tickets are $53. Is that like a family 10-pack? Not to mention that, okay, also North Carolina
right there. That's a
North Carolina plays at Pitt at Heinz Field, and tickets are $5.
I got it. It's Kent State is 53. You're talking about?
$53 at
Yeah,
Kent State.
it is the aura of Nick Saban. Just
all right. On that note, by the way, Louisiana Tech and Marshall tickets are $11. Go get you some tickets.
Yeah,
Go watch a big game.
you don't usually charge them that much. I mean,
seems rude to bring that up.
Yeah,
during the
a little
time
bit.
of
I was like,
listen,
okay, Jeff, I see where we're at.
we're talking about hyping up the memorial of what this is, and you're like, $11.
There's tickets left. There shouldn't be tickets left. Let's go. Go
You're
get
Ricky
them.
Bobby's dad. Your son's been waiting a long time for this moment. Thank you. Tickets. Nothing.
That's a ticket I would buy and just put in like a shadow box.
That would be a souvenir. Yeah,
like
$11.
That date buy you a ticket and put it in a shadow box.
Yeah, a cheap price. Look at that date.
I bet. I mean, like next year's the 50th, so I mean, like that'd be
there you go.
Yeah.
If they're $11, we're going in on that. We'll split that.
All right.
Yeah,
$6.50 each.
think
You're
the
paying
last-
shipping. You're paying the shipping for that. All right. They can print it out. It's not as cool if you print it out on a sheet, though.
No.
I think.
Yeah, that's what I always think it's funny when you go to these concerts, like $250 like tickets, like these big, like one of these big beach hangout fests or one of these, and people got these like print out like pieces of paper with them. Like, come on, man, like get the real deal.
Get the thing.
Like you see my media badge, and
Yeah.
and I get pushed down the stairwell. But I'm telling you, it's that would be a good souvenir to have. I like that one. The Marshall one, yeah. That's a good one right there. I think you need more music, by the way. I think. Yeah. Let's talk a little more about with this music playing right now. Let's get into our pick today with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns. Let's do a little cash it or smash it.
Okay.
That clearly everybody can now hear. All right, let's. So, if you had to pick between Nick Chubb touchdown in this game or not, cash it or smash it, do you cash it that Nick Chubb will score today?
Absolutely cash that. Nick Chubb will score in this game tonight.
Chubb will find
They're going
a
to
way.
get inside the 5-yard line.
Chubb will find a way to score. He'll get to the 5 and penetrate.
Chubb is scoring
Chubb
tonight.
will penetrate deep and score tonight. Okay, there it is for
All right.
Jeff.
Well, there's 16 versus. All right. So
good call, Jeff.
Steelers is 16th in rush defense, so they're right in the middle there. Nah, I'm smashing it. I don't care. I'm not.
I'm feeling Chubb. I mean, I think this he's gonna. Okay, I think he's gonna get in the end zone. I think.
Quit feeling it.
I'm not feeling it
Chad,
that much.
stop.
I'm not feeling it. Okay, we're gonna go with he's gonna get in the end zone and score. Chubb will score. Let's go with next cash it or smash it on this one. Will Big Ben get fined for wearing a watch on the sidelines? Did you see how ridiculous that was? By the way,
the Apple Watch.
Oh my goodness, that was the most pathetic thing. He got $5,000 for wearing a watch. Like there's a lot of things that I don't condone with Big Ben. Anything that happens at a Georgia bar, but wearing a watch on the sidelines.
One that costs $500, and you're getting a fine that's 10 times more than that. Pretty much.
Anything under like 20 G's in the NFL is a slap in the face.
Yeah, it
like
really
$100. Give us $100, and you'll be like,
A little bit different than Odell wearing, watch while playing. That's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
That
is. There are some fines where, like, those arguments where you try to get people to be on your side, and you're like, come on, man, they like you hype it up too, and it's like your bros. You're like, come on, man, like they're gonna fine me for that watch, and you'll be like, that was stupid.
You
if you
get
don't do
fined in
that.
high
Like,
school for wearing a watch
yeah.
during a game. Like, come on.
Like, sorry, can't back you on this one.
No, I
That was
smashed that, by the way.
player
He's
gets
not going to get
fined.
fined today.
The player, the school gets fined, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cash it or smash it. That Mike Trout deserved the MVP. He just won MVP.
Cash it. He deserves a championship.
Cash it.
Get that man a ring.
He's the second. He has the second most MVPs ever. 3.
He's a freak.
Yeah, like
Every year, he's a freak.
All right, cash it or smash it. I would agree. Cash it or smash. By the way, Cody Bellinger, your NL MVP, and your AL MVP, Mike Trout today. Two pretty solid guys. Cody Bellinger, by the way, because since we're all baseball guys, and yeah, have you ever seen a guy that swings more and every time he hits a ball, it looks like it's going like 500 feet? Even like pop-ups, the pitcher, like the way he swings, it's just like, and then they're like, it's like a pop-up to short. I'm like, oh, that's in the 5th row.
It's
and
that
like,
bad angle, man.
Yeah.
It's just like.
Well, he reminds me of the guy. If you play like men's softball, like slow pitch or something, there's always that one guy that goes out there and just hits tanks every time. It's like that, except he's hitting 100-mile-an-hour fastballs that way.
I think that who has the coolest batting stance ever? If you could hit like them, I think the coolest to show off the forearms. He was down here at the Florida Sports Hall of Fame, but I would have to say Gary Sheffield. Man, I love the old when he did the wag. But it's a 30-pound bat. He just
Brandon Phillips did that too. I know he used to do that a lot, but he get like this really deep squat, like shoulder width apart, and he just go.
What about Jeff Bagwell?
That bat behind us?
Yeah. What you want?
Oh God.
Go ahead and
get me out.
He's like, getting me
Are you ready for this? You ready for
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
You want to see it? Can I give you the Jeff Bagwell?
Yeah. That's not bad. That's either the Bagwell
I'm
or if you
cramping.
put it up, it's the. That's okay. This is embarrassing. Folks.
Here you go.
How about this one here with the current council?
No, you got to stand up. Come on.
No,
Come
we're
on.
on camera right now. But the council, you know, the one with the hands like this.
I didn't see that. What were you doing?
Julio Franco.
No. What was the council again?
The Julio right there. No.
What? Your fingers. Just look at him. What about the
old
Jason
Mickey.
Kendall?
Something's
When
gonna
he
get
used to like.
something's about to get broken in the
Yeah,
studio.
I mean, like, you
know
have
that
all this
both-
around you,
Both
I mean,
Blab
like
TV
that
and
camera.
ESPN like are watching this. Like, Lord have mercy. There's a lot of
Just
equipment in that
sit
room.
down.
Like, yeah, please let's not do this. You can see like the headline of the paper. Radio/TV show turns bad as everything's smashed.
It's
all
in the
over.
comics section.
Yeah, you see Justin's face in the back, like going like this. But so since we're already on this segment, let's get to something else that has gone chaotic and AWOL. Bob Stoops, the situation with Florida State and who their next coach is going to be. The reports are coming in lately that they're trying to make a deal. He wants a lot of control and he wants a lot of money, which you would
Obviously.
expect at this point. But where would you put the? Let's go with the Price O'Rido meter. That's what we'll call it on this. The Price O'Rido meter. How much do you see, Jeff, on this one as he will be the next head coach of Florida State? Bob Stoops. Spit out a number, my friend. Just
Wait,
just-
what's my number here? Like, what do you mean? Like,
It's
how much
your
are they
number.
paying him?
No. What number chance do you think he'll be the next head coach at this point? Out of you're not getting odds. That's why you're creating the odds. This is
I'm
not
creating
giving
the
you,
odds?
I'm giving you like 75%. What odds do you think he's going to be? No,
So I have to create
100%.
the odds and pick the odds?
I think this is
this is not that hard,
Oh.
folks. I've ripped up the quiz and thrown it away. You know, like the one time you had a good quiz in school, but the teacher's like, "We're done," and like any of these, and he throws them all away. But like, I studied for that. But no,
100%.
100% that he's going to be the next head coach.
I have that gut feeling. 99.9.
Okay, that's better. That's a little
What are you,
safer.
Germex?
I would go with just because I've started. I'm that guy that's been deflated like a Patriot football from a standpoint of already the people attacking me with Kirk Herbstreit tweets when I put it out there the first time. So even though I'm still sticking to my guns, I'm going to go with 85%. This isn't Price is Right. You don't have to be like 85-50 here. You don't have to-
77.4.
There you go.
disregard that from the records of the bookkeeper over here. Okay, but I do believe what we're all saying here is that there is a better chance that he is the coach than anybody else.
I just feel like he would have downplayed this a lot more. He would have.
No, he's getting talked to right now. That is, I'm not. People have still argued like, but he wasn't on campus. He was at the Hard Rock. First off, any social media post. My grandfather posted a picture. Yeah, my grandfather passed a couple years back. I posted a picture, and then one of my relatives that hadn't seen him in a while was like, "Oh, how's Brill doing?" I'm like, "He's not here anymore. 2 years ago he passed, but like, you were at the funeral." But people don't understand sometimes when they see social media and they think sportsbook people get crushed by that. I'll never forget because you don't actually have any sound at the sportsbook. But living in Vegas, I'll never forget there was it was a bottom of the 12th inning baseball game. This guy it seemed like he had his house on the line. I mean, he was a New Yorker, so he could have had $5.
Yeah.
Could have had $5 based on
That's
it.
true.
But he was like, "Yo, listen up, man. We got this. Yankees the best, everything." And we're all just sitting back like, first off, you're not right now. But this was like 4 or 5 years ago. Actually, longer. Shit. I think it was like 12 years ago or something. But I remember sitting there I said shoot, by the way, in case anybody was. I know.
Don't look
I
at
know
way
the- I know
beyond
the-
that.
Please,
That's
please.
them. That's way
If
beyond
anybody
that,
was
yeah.
questioning that, by the way, it's like when I played the song "Get the Funk Out of My Face." It's a song, by the way, by the old "Get the Funk Out of My Face." But we had a couple calls like, you
What
can't be
is
calling
the
this.
funk?
By the Brothers, that's a good song, by the way. I'm going to play it in a couple seconds for you. So, with that being said, though, there's no sound at the sports book. So you're sitting around, and all you get to do is you get to watch like 50 things, like one of those Matrix movies, and you see them all the screens up there. But there's, you look up and you'll see something, and you go, yes, like we're watching this game for the, the Gators and Townsend. But if they showed like a half-court shot, we'd all probably go like, oh, wow, that's cool. And then they're talking about like last year against Townsend, what a great shot that was. And then they go to them coming out of a timeout. Well, that's what happened. It was 4-4, and the team had scored 3 runs. So they were down 7-4. Now he was a little mad, and the Yankees had got bases loaded. So they did a flashback that he clearly wasn't paying attention to of the last time this guy was up with bases loaded. And he hit a home run, and they showed it. And all he caught was the grand slam and the moment everyone's celebrating. So he's like, he saw that. He's like throwing stuff, and he's hugging people. And I'm like, I really wanted to go over there and tell them that clearly this has not happened. The guy's still, and then they go back to him, and he's got an 0-2 count too. And I'm like, oh, this is not looking good for this guy.
Yeah,
and the guy did strike out with the bases loaded, and they lost by 3. Of course, but this guy was celebrating, hugging people, and nobody else either A, cared or noticed. Like I notice these things just because I'm always looking at things. Squirrel. So all of that happening. Like, I'm just like sitting back. I'm like, I really should tell this guy, but I don't want to be the one that gets punched in the face.
So where were you? Like,
this was at the Bellagio.
okay, yeah.
I used to go to the Bellagio and then the City Center, Aria, when they had that, because they actually had a glove, a baseball glove, leather couch. It was really cool. So it was a couch in the shape of a leather baseball mitt, but like a shell. Think about like you're the pearl in a conch shell. And I just got to sit in the middle. I mean, that's a terrible, like, people are like, why am I, like, imagining this? But think about that. Like, I'm in a shell from, like, one of those Little Mermaid, and I'm sitting back, and I got to actually, this is live on TV. I'm giving, so we're sitting there and looking up, and they actually had the TVs on the roof. So I got to sit back and watch the TVs on the roof in the game, and you would sit there. And then somebody would ask you for drinks, and you're like, I don't know if I can you get me one of these long straws? But it was really cool. And if you've never been there, Aria City Center, that area, Cosmo, over there, they have that whole area. You feel like you're in like 2040. It's way above. Every water fountain is like spraying like multicolored gold. Like they create like gold sharks that fly over your car. Like their pathways are all. It's some
gold
crazy
sharks.
stuff.
What is this land he's talking about?
It's all this is 2040 talk. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand what's happening. So, but I'm telling you guys, it is really cool. And had nothing to do with the conversation. I just wanted to let you guys know that.
Gold sharks,
sweet leather chair. When we come back, we're not going to talk that. We're going to get to more. Jim Haslett, New Orleans Saints coach, joined us in studio. He's like, don't put me in the same conversation with this crap. But we're going to get to more on what's going on with some of the baseball games as well, basketball, and also talk what's happening right now. The MVPs, Mike Trout, Cody Bellinger. Congratulations to both in baseball. College football, big week ahead. We did talk to Pat Dye, and on a serious note, too, he's dealing with some stuff. He was in the hospital, the legendary Auburn coach, and I talked to Lynn, his publicist, and she said you could call him again on a cell. He didn't pick up. I'm not calling a guy that's at the hospital.
Yeah.
I did that one time with Gene Stallings, and Ruth Ann, his wife, was like, Gene just had a stroke, and he's eating some pudding right now. He said he wanted to make sure you knew that. I was like, no, stop. Like, you don't need to talk to us right now. Like, Gene's 85. Pat just turned 80, so wish him the best of luck, and hope he feels better, especially on a week. Remember, he played at Georgia, and he coached Auburn as a college football Hall of Famer. So this game obviously has a lot of ties. And people, I wasn't around there when Pat Dye played college football, clearly, but it was they said he was one heck of a football player, too. So,
I believe it.
Yeah. Great at Georgia, and so a lot of ties to this game. And if anybody could talk that game, it was like when we had Gene Stallings, one of the Junction boys from Rip Bryant, talking Texas A&M, Alabama. So it's pretty cool ties to have Pat, but health is more important than that, and I'm not going to continue to call him 50 times. Don't text or call somebody a lot. That's rude. Coming back for more, it's Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola and Blab TV.
Big guys live big. Little John's Big and Tall Fashions and Alterations knows that living big requires quality. That's why Little John's Big and Tall was named this year's winner of Best in Pensacola for men's clothing and has been Best of the Bay finalist for the last 3 years. Let Little John's fit you for your next suit or tux with sizes extra large and up and tall sizes from large. Little John's will fit you into great quality fashions, casual dress, and athletic. Live big with Little John's Big and Tall, 5700 North Davis Highway, Pensacola.
There's a lot going on right now, and broadcasters are on the ground covering all of it, bringing you the weather, the traffic, and breaking news, all while entertaining you 24 hours a day. Someone needs to tell you what's going on around the world and in our hometowns, and that someone is us. We are free radio. We are always there. We are broadcasters. Visit wearebroadcasters.com or text radio to 52886 to learn more. Furnished by NAB and this station.
Calling all Florida State Seminole fans, Tomahawk Talk is here. Tune in each Wednesday afternoon from 1 till 2 right here on ESPN Pensacola 99.1 AM 1330 to get the latest on Florida State football. Hear from the experts, the superfans, and even some former players about what's happening on the field from the sidelines to the locker room. It's Tomahawk Talk this Wednesday starting at 1 o'clock on ESPN Pensacola 99.1 AM 1330.
Presented in part by Gross & Schuster, attorney at law.
What if people had a battery level icon? Like on your phone? You'd see a lot of us in need of a recharge. Thank goodness there's 5-Hour Energy. Because just one sugar-free, vitamin-packed 5-Hour Energy shot can get you all the way back to 100% fast. And isn't life better at 100%? 5-Hour Energy. Get back to 100%. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com.
To give batters a different look, pitchers throw a changeup.
Your idea of a different look is sunglasses.
That's true. But La Quinta Inns and Suites is really taking the different look thing to a new level.
Definitely a major league makeover, starting with a bolder, brighter lobby full of comfortable spaces to let you settle in.
Or chill out in front of a big, flat screen like Wingo would.
Oh, you know it. It's a changing La Quinta look to help you get in the zone and look sharp when you hit that big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com.
The Ice Flyers are hosting Mossy Oak Night this Saturday at 7:05 p.m. The team will be wearing Mossy Oak camo jerseys that the fans can buy. Everyone in attendance will also be able to win Mossy Oak prizes, including a $500 shopping spree. Then Sunday, the popular Friends and Family Night returns, where fans can purchase ticket packages valued at $241 for only $60. For tickets for Mossy Oak Night Saturday or Friends and Family Night Sunday, go to PensacolaIceFlyers.com/single-game tickets.
The Paul Feinbaum Show.
Everything you wanted to happen hasn't happened.
Oh my gosh, that's all any of y'all want to talk about is Alabama.
You're really not understanding the conversation, but anyway, we can move on.
Alabama's dynasty has just begun.
Hold on a second, Charles. Somebody wants to talk to you.
I don't want to talk that compelling moron. He's nothing but a lame-headed old man.
2 till 5 every weekday afternoon. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
You're out of your freaking mind, cowturd.
You're listening to Pensacola's home for hometown sports. ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM.
Hi. Hello. Hey. Whoa, whoa. Get the funk out my face. 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 You don't like my music, you don't have to use it. Funkin' is a thing that all of us release. You don't have to get it, all you do is let it. Then you know exactly how to move. So you don't like my music.
Brothers Johnson coming back. Get the funk out of my face as we're having some fun here with you on this Thursday. Hope you are as well. 850-623-1330 is the number to be part of my show. As why did I even say my show? I never say that was our show. How the
You know what?
You know what?
Goodbye.
Listen. It does have the name on here, but it had nothing to do. I've never said that. That was actually because no. I explain why I said my, because I got a really cool picture in that middle of the process of my daughter doing some dances. Ooh, by the way,
Those pliés.
Those are pliés right there. This is so. I was getting there. I was about to say my daughter, and that's why I said that. So I just want to.
That came out really bad.
It did come out bad, extremely bad. I went from like all friends to like pulling him out in the parking lot kind of thing right there. He's like,
so sports. How about this?
How about this? We're not going down. This is going down a path we are not.
By the way,
don't do that to me, Ricky Bobby. You're not doing. No. We're not going down this path. So
just just to throw this out here real quick before
something.
Who knows?
Go to anything right now besides what we just.
Today in sports history was the 43rd NASCAR Sprint Cup. Dale Earnhardt won.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt fans, of course, it's
there you go.
Tragic and everything, but everybody, Dale Earnhardt was awesome, by the way. People,
he was on the Intimidator right there.
Yeah, he was definitely intimidating. That mustache.
That's what I'm doing to Justin. He says that about the picture, but no, the difference was. Is that Tom Hanks, by the way? That is Tom Hanks. Does that not look like somebody that is it Mr. Robert? Are you going to see that, by the way, Mr. Rogers?
Huh?
He's playing Mr. Rogers in the new. Would you like to be my neighbor?
Nope.
Somebody says that today, you get it's a lawsuit. Right? Would you like to be my neighbor? Be like, we got a creepy dude next time. Yeah, it's times have changed. Mr. Rogers 2000 and kids are gonna watch it. Don't know the parents are informing the kids who Mr. Rogers was to make it better as they walk in there. But if a guy dressed in a red suit with the tie, at all times, first off, are you unemployed, sir? You have tracks at your house. Why are you dressed like this? So usually those people are still in the cruise ship robes. Can you see a cruise ship robe that you get for free? The tied octopus on the top with the.
How about the sports?
How about that? All right, let's get
back to what we're here for.
There's the Intimidator.
There's the Intimidator. He's back. Chad. He's back. He's back right there. All right, let's get to that amazing hit yesterday. Clearly, gosh. Now, the guy for Northern Illinois assumed that he was playing in the NFL, that the ball you had to be down by contact. And when I say this, vicious contact, because the guy went over and it was a fumble. He picked it up and he wasn't looking forward, and the guy it was a Mortal Kombat. Finish him. And the next thing, he just comes flying in and whiplash this guy. Have you seen the play yet?
Yeah, you showed me earlier.
It's yeah, you've showed people in the studio. Thank you. Yeah, no, is that as bad as you've ever seen?
I mean,
without it being, I think it's the worst hit I've ever seen that wasn't deliberate. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is it was just stupidity. It wasn't deliberate. He didn't actually know. He wasn't I'm about to bust. You can tell when a guy late looks over, he stops and pauses, the gopher from he makes the turn. There was none of that going on. It was straight. He actually thought for a second he was making a good play.
Yeah,
I see that, by the way, too. Yeah, Townsend, don't play into my ADD. You pointing you'll get us right off of here.
Okay?
I know you do. You sitting next to me as I have feeding, you're like, oh, Townsend's winning by 6. I'm like, I see it too. But I do believe though that it was a pretty nasty hit and probably the worst we've ever seen for a guy that didn't know it was going to be the worst we've ever seen.
Not that, it could make it any worse, but it's the fact that the quarterback tries to run around the side. He trips over himself. He trips over himself, rolls, then starts to get up. Why would you ever go to hit this guy? It's 5 seconds after he was rolling on the ground after an embarrassing tripping over his own feet. Jeez.
I was really surprised a fight did not break out from that hit. Because
shame on Northern
Illinois. I say the same thing.
Stand up for your teammate.
Yeah, that was actually the most disappointing part of that.
Your quarterback.
I was texting earlier with Jeff about that. He was this morning because you brought up one of the games, and sorry, it's been a long day, but you text me about one of the games, and then I text back, did you see that hit? And then I sent it, and that's the first thing that we talked about. Shame on all the guys that just sort of ran over there and galloped and didn't even they were just nobody even helped them up. They're like, you okay? The first thing you need to do is run over there and lay. Coach, I would hope it's like beating somebody in baseball. You're allowing a guy on base in a pivotal matchup. But at that moment, you need to defend your player.
Yeah.
It's worth getting 15 yards for that hit. You want to read this?
No, I sent that to you. You don't. No. You're not taking credit for that one, Chad.
Wait a second.
I sent that to you this morning.
Y'all got some stuff to hit.
You sent me that video this morning.
Yeah.
That's been a really long day.
Then that's when
right there.
that's when you
Wow.
replied back and you were like,
Yeah.
"How do you not go? How did that fight not break out?
Just
Whatever."
wondering now. He's like, when we shook hands in the parking lot last night, we were at the Cat Country event.
Yep.
And it was around 11:30. We just talked to Pierce Baker, good cops. There's
Yep.
about 4 good cop friends down there, and Pierce, good Georgia dog fan, and we're getting ready for going back to the cars and said goodbye, heading home, and doing that. And Jeff's now probably wondering if I headed home after that, based on that. He's like, I said that. Yes, I did head home. I had nothing cool. If you want to know, which was like, no, we didn't. I threw a bunch of tater tots on a pan and watched SportsCenter, and actually watched the end of that basketball game that was already over with Golden State and L.A.
Wow.
Yeah, I already got to see LeBron James not in like attire. He wears his own like the half Superman outfits.
That game was over when Curry broke his hand a couple weeks back.
when Eric Pascal is getting talked about as like this is the guy they need to go to. Find a way to get Pascal the ball, at this point.
Be a long year.
How quickly though things can change in sports. I hope I hope Golden State this year is used as the poster child of like, you don't know what you got till it's gone. Like, because at one moment you thought that everything was great. Like, look, you had everything. And even when you had Kevin Durant out, you're like, all right, we still got this. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, all these guys. Kevin Durant gets traded. Steph Curry gets hurt. Klay Thompson's out for the year. Draymond Green then goes, ow, my back. Like,
Wait,
what do you
pulling
mean?
AJ Green?
Yeah. All of a sudden, like, he looked around and he saw he's passing the ball to guys like Cook and these guys he's never heard of.
wait a minute.
Bozo the Clown out there. Bozo passed, by the way, 89 years old. But Bozo, all these people are out there, and then the next thing you know,
rest in peace. What? Where did that even come from?
I know too much about Bozo.
You know a ton of sports, but you know these little facts and stuff like that just make me go home and I think about this, like our conversations we had about things like this.
You actually are the person. No. Sadly, though.
No, let's not talk about this anymore.
No, look at yesterday's article in the paper.
Quit pulling it up.
Read it. Just read the article. But this is
The Ringer. Okay. You
don't need to know the site. That had nothing to do with it, right there. Like,
don't get mad. You brought this up.
Read the article. What's happening in Serbia? CNN. Be like, okay, that's
so the same place that talked about Bozo the Clown is talking about Serbia.
That's where I get my news. That's where I get my news. Yeah,
I'm in. I'm all in on this.
Actually, and there's also 750-pound bass caught right in the Escambia River there. Look at that right there. That's a perfect timing, man. These are great stories we got right there. Actually, I actually got a guy while we're on this topic. So he's like, Lord have mercy. Why not? We're having fun. If nobody's laughing with us at TV, this is look. We talk enough sports. Got big games coming up here. We can share some laughs right now. But I'll never forget some guy very serious at Bass Pro Shops in Orlando. And he was over there, and we were asking questions. And I looked at my friend, and this sounds exactly what I would do. And I was like, I had a question. We've been using a lot of different test lines, and I got a sabiki rod I was going to break out. This isn't even the funny part, so thank you, though. I appreciate it. But and then I go, what do you think? I've been looking. We do a lot of grouper fishing. We do some bottoms for AJs. But I said, what do you think? I'm thinking, last time I was out in the water, going for about an 800-pound red snapper. What do I need for that? And the guy was like the most serious face ever was like, so we don't have those. Like, there's not 800-pound red snapper. I was like, that's not what I have. I don't know where you're fishing. And I just started to laugh at everybody else. He's like, folks out there, this is not true. He was like very
Fake
serious
news.
about there is not 800-pound snapper. Do not be listening to this. And I was like, might have been 750, guys. Like, I'm sorry. I was a little overzealous on that. And he was just like, anybody else have a question? Anybody so offended by that? I'm just like, dude, you are the last person I want on a fishing boat with the Coors Light in my hands. I like that. You just ruined what is 30 seconds of my laugh, and you get stuck 4 hours on the water with that, dude.
I don't think I've ever laughed that hard on air. I really don't.
I'm telling you that comment just threw me for a loop. I mean, that happens a lot to me.
Like,
you know that, Chad.
You've been. This is like 2 weeks. We worked together for like 7 years, but this is like 2 weeks, and. Bozo the Clown Pass, though. It needs to be thrown in there somehow.
I mean,
89
like,
years old.
After
Did you see how they? But the saddest part though is when his
The saddest part.
his ashes were brought in a red wagon. Okay. Okay. All right. When we come back,
It's a good time for a break.
some more.
I'm so sorry for the people at home right now.
But afterwards, it was a good service, and they said, grand prize. Okay. All right. Coming back for more. It's a Sports Drive on ESPN Pensacola.
I just finished updating my bath with Bath Fitter. Best decision ever. 35 years experience, Bath Fitter knows their stuff. I custom designed the luxury bath I wanted. The color, the style, thousands of options. Luxury hotel quality. Bath Fitter Pensacola did the rest. Installed my bath in less than a day. No demo, no mess, and it's under a lifetime warranty. I love my new bath. Visit bathfitter.com today to book your free in-home consultation and join over 2 million satisfied customers or call 429-1777.
I thought I was too old.
I thought I was too young.
I didn't think I had what it takes.
How'd I find the time?
I went into a music store and tried some percussion. Keyboard,
guitar,
bass.
ukulele.
And before I knew it,
I could actually play a song.
why make excuses when you can make music? Just play. This message brought to you by the NAM Foundation.
When working at a growing business, you wear many hats. The new business hat, the buying toner for the copy machine hat, the sifting through tons of resumes hat. You can throw away that last hat thanks to Indeed.com. When posting your job, Indeed lets you add screener questions that give you a less time-consuming route to your short list of qualified candidates. So go ahead, dust off that extra long lunch hat. Hiring's better when you've got your short list. Save time on hiring when you post a job on Indeed. Get started today at Indeed.com/hire.
This is Tort Talk with personal injury lawyer Terrence A. Gross.
Hi, this is Terrence A. Gross. Did you know there are over 100,000 lawyers in the state of Florida? Less than 2,000 are board-certified civil trial lawyers. I'm proud to say that both myself and my law partner Charlie Schuster have been board-certified for over 25 years and specialize in handling personal injury claims.
Tort Talk is brought to you by Terrence A. Gross. Call 434-3333 or check him out at grossandschuster.com.
Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
How about we add Sunday to that list? It's the NFL Tailgate Show at World of Beer.
Your plans just changed.
Yes, they did. Live show, games, prizes, NFL legends.
500 bottles of beer on the wall.
And you can try them all.
And no wrong choices.
Well, trying all 500 week one, that could be a bad choice.
World of Beer. Beer as you have never experienced it before.
Come on, bro. That was my tag. Your NFL party awaits you at World of Beer.
World of Beer.
Really?
Pensacola is loaded with famous athletes, and when it comes to seeing a chiropractor for their sports injuries, there is one team they trust, Doctors Edwin Roberts. A family tradition for 3 generations, Doctors Edwin Roberts Chiropractic, next to Legendary Fitness on Mobile Highway, has helped champion athletes like Emmett Smith and Trent Richardson. Doctors Roberts specialize in relieving auto accident pain to physicals for the student athlete. The best treatment for sports injuries is prevention. Call 912-4155 for a free consultation and change your life forever.
You're listening to Pensacola's home for hometown sports. ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Bozo always laughs, never frowns. Bozo the clown. Oh, Billy, I'm glad you made it here to the Bozo.
Welcome back. Sports Drive with you right here on ESPN Pensacola to the late Bozo the Clown right there.
I'm so sorry.
89 years old. 89 years old. And, yeah, it's at the funeral they did the halftime show where they all tossed the bucket. But, no.
Did a halftime show at his
show they did. With the cake. Remember the cake in the back, though? We got to get off this. I love that
yes,
show.
We gotta
I really
get
did
off
cookies and all that. I love that show. Man, I couldn't get enough cookies. I'm telling you, though, if you looked right now at let's get to a talk on Pittsburgh and Cleveland tonight. Cash or smash it. Both these teams are out of the playoff picture. Not officially. Don't break it down like, well, they could actually win. No, I understand. In your opinion, are both of these teams out of being playoff teams?
Well, I smash it because I still think the Steelers, they have a shot again for a wild card. Right now, they're in the wild card spot, number 6 spot. So, yeah, I smash it.
Getting this episode off, I'm watching. There's episodes of Bozo running on that. Okay, so go ahead. Please.
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers, you look at them and they're in contention. I just have zero faith in Mason Rudolph. Like a Mason Rudolph-led team going to the playoffs, I just don't see it.
I mean, they've won. Here's the deal: they've won 4 straight, so I'm gonna smash it, just based on that. They've already proven a number of times that they continue to win. No, I really didn't think the Rams are playing good football, and I didn't think what we saw last week. And when you got Jalen Ramsey's face, just imagine, like, you left Jacksonville and you had to deal with Blake, and he's a UCF guy, but I don't mind saying call a spade a spade. Blake Bortles was awful the last couple of years, and then you see him running back out on the field, like you're watching him come back out there, and you're like, come on, dude! Like I got this $110 million quarterback out here. He's supposed to be, and now that's what you get. That's the product you get. So there you go. I do like Cleveland to win that though. I think the Browns get it done.
Really?
Yeah. Not really. They're a 3-point favorite. This is not like I'm not going out a huge limb.
I don't
here,
know
but
how though, because the Steelers have a better record. I feel like Coach Tomlin's a better coach than what Kitchens is doing right now. I mean, come on.
I just think it's solid for one. They're at home, and then they get you at least a point.
They get
on
you
the spread there, but you look at that roster, and you just I think it's one of those things that people are still expecting the Browns to be what we thought they were going to be. And after seeing them last week, you're like, okay, maybe these guys, they're starting to figure it out now. Getting Kareem Hunt back adds a little bit of a dimension to it, and you still got Landry and Odell and Nick Chubb, and that Nick Chubb, he's something.
But you always think that, you always think, oh, maybe they're getting back on track, and then it's just
I think it's past the point. Don't throw things at me, but I think it's at the point where we realize that. Yeah, they're not going to be a playoff contender. That was complete baloney anyway. I never, when they were like, championship, be like, you probably want to make the playoffs first. Let's start with that. Let's baby steps. It's like, if you're like, you start, it's one of those people that never has ever weighed like 500 pounds, and now you work out and you're the before-after picture and you're like in good shape. And the Biggest Loser shows, and they get back and they're like, now I'm going to date this supermodel. Be like, well, you know what?
Baby steps.
Let's just get a dating app. Let's just talk to a girl first. But don't act like, for Cleveland, let's get to the playoffs first. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to the playoffs, and then you can get on the dating app.
Baker, just shut up. For Baker Mayfield, just shut up. You're
that's
causing more problems right now.
It's really aggressive there.
Gators 26, Townsend 25. 28. Thanks for putting up that 3 late there, scoreboard. I appreciate it. 28-26, Townsend with a 2-point lead over Florida at Florida in the O-Dome with 3 minutes left in the first half. Some of the other things going on. Ethan has texted in. Who do you guys like better as a coach? Bear Bryant, Bobby Bowden, or Joe Paterno? Who do you think was better? I'll let you start, Jeff.
Bear Bryant. I think it's tough to argue on that one. Bear Bryant was just phenomenal.
I mean, I wouldn't even put Bowden in the same category, but Paterno and Bryant, they're pretty equal. But I could sub Snyder in there and for Bowden, but I still give it to Bryant.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bryant as well. How many rings? 6? Is it 6? Let's not go not the claimed route. Look, I'm famous for that with UCF. We know that. We joke with that. As much as now, like the old school Bama fans are like, no, we won them. Be like, yeah, that's what we said too. But on the year that they actually won it was more ironic that was the year Alabama actually won it. We're like, yeah, we're champions too. Be like, you're just claiming it. Be like, oh, really? But I think Bear Bryant won 6 rings. So yeah, I'm not. This is not a. He's the best out of those guys. Joe Paterno's legacy. All 3 of them have legacies.
I'm about to say the legacies are off the chart.
You could argue, and the funny part though about this, and I think I'm right on this, is that the Alabama and Bear Bryant situation, even though Bear Bryant out of the 3 has won the most, has done the most, overall he was the last guy you would think of though that was bigger than the actual team.
Yep.
And what I mean is Alabama and Alabama football will always be huge, whether it was him, Gene Stallings, whether it was Nick Saban, or even if it was Mike DeBose or your grandfather Mike Price. But he's like, that's not my family. He was with them at that day when they was he asked you for change. No, he had so Mike Price had a 20 on him, and he was like, Jeff, I need to break change, and Jeff's like, here you go, grandpops, and then apparently he wasn't the coach anymore at Alabama. No, none of this is true, by the way. To make sure, for Mike Price's sake, that's not true here, folks. But so
funny guy.
Hey. So all of that being said, though, Alabama's always been Alabama, the tradition.
Yeah.
Whoever coaches there is part of tradition history. Florida State's tradition was they were at one point an all-girls school. Bobby Bowden, his days, Burt Reynolds, and some of the names, but Bobby Bowden built the Florida State tradition. Bobby Bowden was Florida State football. He was. Joe Paterno, even though Penn State has tradition, Joe Paterno was the tradition for 50 or 60 years. Joe Pa was Penn State football. Bear Bryant is part of Alabama football and will always be looked at as a legend. Statues and everything, and everybody loves Bear, and that's why more kids are named Bear in places in College Station at Texas A&M and also Alabama. But Bobby Bowden and Joe Paterno there's no Nick Saban or Bear Bryant conversations. They're none of those two are the only legends. Even if James Franklin won 3 straight, it'd be a long time before the conversation.
By the way, you heard about Paterno, right? Like that whole thing with him before he got fired. Yeah, well, they actually fired him like 15 years ago, and he just kept showing up. And they just every day
he just kept being there.
They changed keys and
changed pants. Oh, sorry.
And so someone just let him in, thinking like, oh yeah, you're always here, like been here since I was born.
They're like, well, he showed up again. I don't know. You tell him to go.
Well, and you never want to see. That's one of the worst things in sports I hate to see is. And Ethan, thank you for weighing in on that. But I've got good question. I've got. I've got to go Bear Bryant. Collectively, we're going Bear here.
Yeah,
we're all Bear. Okay. I look at this though and say, if I had to pick somebody, would you rather play 8 great years, or be good for 8 great years, but then play another 5 years of like mediocre or even really old and crusty sports? What do you think?
Wow, you dropped that one off quickly.
Mediocre,
and then you brought crusty.
No. But here's the thing. I'm on this clown thing, so I was going to move on from bozo to crusty. Boy. But no, if you have somebody like Hakeem, I'm going to bring up Hakeem Olajuwon. Okay. Hakeem the Dream, the moon, the Dream Shake, right. Man, he was so much fun to watch. Hakeem Olajuwon was. You know what's not talked about is the year Michael Jordan went with Sam Bowie. They picked Sam Bowie, but Hakeem Olajuwon was the number 1 overall pick. It was Olajuwon 1, and then it was Bowie 2 and Jordan 3. That never gets brought up because that doesn't make the conversation look better. Everybody's like, Sam Bowie went over Michael Jordan. Like that guy looked like Mr. Clean. He was 7'2", but and Sam Bowie was like a 13 and 10 guy, but you never were going to be Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But nobody throws in. Hakeem was Akeem at that time. He added the H for hey yeah man, like But when he went out there and he played for Houston, he was one of the best centers of all time. He was one of the most. He's Joel Embiid pretty much with the rings, and even more talented, I'd say. But he's Joel Embiid. If for the kids today, be like, oh man, that guy is sweet, man. That guy, I like Joel Embiid. Like Hakeem was awesome.
Yeah.
But Hakeem also played for the Toronto Raptors. How many of you guys knew that?
I didn't know that.
Justin's. Clearly by your face, I don't think
I didn't
you knew
know
that.
that
No.
either.
But that's what I'm saying. If you look at his card, there was like 2 years with the Raptors. And they were really bad. And I remember because and you just watched him get out there, and they're like, ladies and gentlemen, it's Hakeem Olajuwon. And they're like, hey, give him some time, folksy. Getting up. And he waves at everybody, and then you're like sitting there, and you're just like, everybody was sort of like, yeah, this is not good stuff. Like, but it got to that point where, it was bad. It just didn't. He was not good anymore. Patrick Ewing had like 19 knee braces on 2 knees in Orlando, and he should not have been playing. Sean Kemp, the Rain Man, he became an alcoholic, and this is a true story. But he became an alcoholic, and he couldn't play for a while, and he couldn't dunk. He weighed like 400 pounds. He could not dunk. The Rain Man was 6'10", and he couldn't make the layups anymore. And you just got to that point where you're like, that's not the guy I want to remember. Yeah. And that happens in sports sometimes, where there's a guy that you want them to be a certain way. Jerry Rice on the Seattle Seahawks. You want to see greatness, and they get to that point where you're not anymore. And that's what Tom Brady and Drew Brees and these guys are doing is insane. People don't understand when you're 42 or 40 years old and you're still not good but great. That's insanity. It's look at Peyton Manning. That's why, we joke with the hashtag of Tom Brady out there trolling Peyton Manning during Halloween with the picture of the skeleton in the yard, and he's like, hey, Peyton, how's it going still? Peyton Manning's like 1 or 2 years older than Tom Brady. But he's been out of the league for 5 years now, 4 years? Since that Carolina, it's been 4 years. And
that's crazy, by the way.
And he was already done. So think about it. He's 5 years ago. Peyton Manning, a legend, about 5 years ago was past his prime. While Breeze and these guys continue, but they haven't hit a wall yet. And that's a lot of teams we just don't want to see. That's why even like a Rob Gronkowski or a Calvin Johnson that clearly retire early, I still would rather see that and remember them for greatness than to watch a guy go out there and go 170. Like when you see one of those great players who's still playing baseball, and he's batting like by the Mendoza line. Tom Glavine on the Mets when he had like a 4.85, like a 5 ERA. I don't want to see that anymore.
But I mean, like Brady's won 2 Super Bowls. Like, he's won just as many.
He's the defending champion right now.
He's won 2 Super Bowls since Peyton's retired.
I just want to make that clear here.
Calm
still
down,
the champion here.
I know, like I'm a Pats fan too, but like I mean, he's won just as many.
That's why you're here.
He's won just as many Super Bowls that Peyton won in his entire career, since the time that he's retired, which is what now we're in 4th season, right? I believe? Yep.
When we do come back, I do want to touch back on the Marshall situation.
Yeah, we'll go with that clip.
Because obviously we've been down this.
We went way off the spectrum right there.
Oh, we've been way off the spectrum.
I can't agree with that. I just can't believe this has been.
I
was about to write in my daughter's 3-year-old unicorn diary. This was my favorite ever.
He's taking
she
a
would
loss
cry.
of those over.
Daddy wrote over my stickers. All right, we'll come back for more. It's a Sports Drive.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Saturdays are meant for sports, so Sports Call with Davis and Justin is here to kick off your sports weekend.
College football, the NFL, the MLB, the NBA, the PGA Tour. If it's happening on Saturday, we're talking about it.
Plus, weekly interviews with the players, coaches, and fellow journalists.
Be a part of the show by calling or texting in at 623-1330.
Sports Call with Davis and Justin every Saturday from 11 to 1 on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
There's a lot going on right now, and broadcasters are on the ground covering all of it, bringing you the weather, the traffic, and breaking news, all while entertaining you 24 hours a day. Someone needs to tell you what's going on around the world and in our hometowns, and that someone is us. We are free radio. We are always there.
We are broadcasters. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
There's a lot going on right now, and broadcasters are on the ground covering all of it, bringing you the weather, the traffic, and breaking news, all while entertaining you 24 hours a day. Someone needs to tell you what's going on around the world and in our hometowns, and that someone is us. We are free radio. We are always there. We are broadcasters. Visit wearebroadcasters.com or text radio to 52886 to learn more. Furnished by NAB and this station.
Hear ye, hear ye. I bringeth thee a message from... a message from the king and his new trumpeter, Stephen. The king wishes me to convey his favor to thine team and thine tailgate. Not yet. He invites thee to let the Bud Light flow forth. And he also wishes me to tell thee that he toasts thee. Waiteth until the end, Stephen! With game day's favorite light lager and the slogan of his kingdom... Oh! Dilly dilly! Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, AB, St. Louis, Missouri.
Just felt there's a huge need in Pensacola to bring foot and ankle services, specifically orthopedic foot and ankle services, to this area. There's so much growth in Pensacola. I wanted a freestanding orthopedic foot and ankle center to do this, and as far as I can tell, this is the only one really in the country that's freestanding. Most orthopedic surgeons are part of a multi-specialty group. So we offer on-site x-rays, on-site CT scan, and on-site MRI. They can come to one place.
Visit NielsenOrthopedics.com to reserve your appointment today.
Talk football every day with Pensacola's own Coach K.
Credit a great performance by Garoppolo. And I love the way he throws the football. He's got all the things going for him.
Every weekday, noon till 1 on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 FM 99.1.
ESPN Pensacola is your home to UWF Argos football. Catch every game, home or away, on Pensacola's home for local sports. ESPN Pensacola 1330 FM 99.1.
You're listening to Pensacola's home for hometown sports. ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM.
Making all your dreams come true. Welcome back. Sports Drive, having some fun with you on this Thursday evening. We got some football coming up here right around the corner. How about them Evansville? How about Evansville getting it done in a big way? How about that? That was awesome.
I completely forgot about that. This has been a crazy week in sports.
Jeff, why are you not being part of this conversation over here?
Oh, sorry, I'm just ordering dinner.
Yeah. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. Why?
Doesn't look like dinner right now, but I'm not 100% sure what's happening here. The show is televised. We'll be able to confirm that right there. I don't know. I don't know I'm seeing something else now. All right. Wait a second.
No, it's this place that has Bozo the Clown.
Okay.
Yeah, Bozo's Pizza. It's off of 9 Miles somewhere.
That's okay. That's
we know what's up between that 9 miles.
You're never.
Yeah. Anyway,
people come in here all the time. Honestly, it's funny because besides that person playing Disney piano music while
by the
we're
way,
talking,
you played that. That was beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Underneath the table, by the way. I'm the reverse Stevie Wonder. But that means so wait a second.
Not again.
So
people come in here all the time.
No, I just broke down pretty much. The reverse Stevie Wonder would just be a normal piano player, wouldn't it be?
That's what I was thinking, but I didn't know where you were going with that.
So, one of those comments you don't need to make, but you're like, I'm the reverse Stevie Wonder. Be like, so
you're just terrible?
So you just have eyes, you play it normally. I don't understand what's happening here, folks. So to get to a more, okay. So we got Steelers and Browns. I'm going Browns tonight, by the way.
I'm going Steelers.
Browns by a touchdown.
Right. Oh, even some juice on there. There you go. I'm going to go ahead and say Browns win 24-20. But let's get to today. Cody Bellinger, Mike Trout, MVPs, by the way.
Congratulations.
Let's get that done. Also, the news, it looks like Bob Stoops, big game Bob, a good chance that he'll be the next Florida State head coach. I know it's been talked about a while, but now it's starting to
You said it was an 85% chance.
You said 99.9. Wiseman has dropped out. He's done with his lawsuit, so he will be ineligible at this point to play for Memphis. Number one player. And I watched him the other night against your Ducks. Yeah, sorry.
Shame on you.
Shame on me after what we caught you doing. Overall, though, he's a good player right there. He's going to be the number one pick probably in the draft. But do you feel at this point, will this hurt him? Will he be able to get better by? No, hurt him. Okay. I got a couple minutes left. I do want to get to the Marshall situation coming up here. We're going to play at 6:57. I just realized Blab TV, we get at 6:57 for ESPN. We'll play that clip, so we'll allude to it. We'll say thank you, and then we'll make sure that people can listen to the final Marshall clip right there, just to make sure. But I do want to let everybody know Buffalo is up 14-0 on those $52 tickets against Kent State. Just letting you know.
If you're a Kent State fan, you are upset. You paid
really
$52
ticked off right now.
Yeah.
Doubles. Yeah,
and now you're losing?
Yeah, 14-0 right now. UNC's tonight, by the way. North Carolina and Pitt. Just realized.
Tickets are $5.
$5 for those
$5.
tickets?
Was that basketball? Or
No.
No, it's football. Okay.
Yeah.
See, it's that time of year.
At Heinz Field.
You don't know yet.
Billie Eilish tickets. I don't want that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I was trying to buy the North Carolina.
She puts out a real tearjerker.
Tickets as low as $5. Yeah, it is.
Don't you?
Is this one of those cop-outs, though, with, when you have cars, you get in this car for $300 and you get in there and they're like, well, that's the down payment, so I can smack you in the face and say, are you kidding me? I'm not giving you a car for $300, but I just took your $300.
No, but it was you're sitting so high that you have to have binoculars and your nose starts bleeding. And it's freezing.
Folks, thank you for tuning in today on Blab TV. It's been a fun one for all of us here. We appreciate everything. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the folks in Huntington, right there for Marshall. Appreciate everything, Justin. I know being from Huntington, it's something. With all jokes aside, it's something that this is something that our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody. And for the last few seconds, thank you for joining us on Blab TV. We're going to let everybody know with Marshall right here and play to remember the history of the moment with Tom Rinaldi.
There are no markers in the sky, no graves in the air. But like memory, they are always there, around this place, inside its people. November 14th, 1970. After a game against East Carolina, the Marshall football team. There are no markers in the sky, no graves in the air. But like memory, they are always there. around this place, inside its people. November 14th, 1970. After a game against East Carolina, the Marshall football team boarded a flight back home to West Virginia. Southern Airways Charter Flight 932 left with 75 souls aboard, including 37 players, 8 coaches, and 25 boosters. They never arrived.
Good evening. A charter jet carrying the Marshall University football team home to West Virginia crashed as it tried to land.
A DC-9 Southern Airways plane carrying Marshall University's football team, routers and crew, crashed and burned. That's according to state police and the FAA.
The accident is the deadliest sports-related tragedy in American history. In the ashes and aftermath, Marshall made a choice to endure. And for 45 autumns since, on bright fields and loud Saturdays, that's what the herd has done. Persevere, prevail, play. The memory is always there, in loss and sorrow, in victory and tribute. For all who love this sport, they are us, we are them, we are Marshall.
For hometown sports, ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. If you would like to be a part of ESPN Pensacola as a sponsor or promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000 or visit our website at espnpensacola.com.
ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
Hello there, I'm Mark Robbins. The American and National League Most Valuable Players have been announced. Mike Trout of the Angels wins the AL award. It's his third, while Cody Bellinger of the Dodgers wins his first in the National League. Bellinger, the 6th Dodger to win an MVP award, also the Rookie of the Year in the NL back in 2017. Thursday night NFL football from the AFC North. It's Cleveland hosting the Steelers. Earlier, the Browns cutting wide receiver Antonio Callaway as the league announces his 10-game suspension for violation of the league's substance abuse policy. Here's ESPN NFL reporter Jeremy Fowler to further explain.
Browns wide receiver Antonio Callaway is being suspended for 10 games by the NFL for multiple violations of the league's substance abuse policy. Now, Callaway is appealing, but the team has released him because they simply felt they had no choice. He was late showing up to the Buffalo Bills game on Sunday. Then I'm told he was late showing up to a team activity this week. So they were fed up, and they move on with the top 3 receiver core of Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, and Rashard Higgins.
In the NBA tonight, Paul George prepared to make his Clippers debut. LA's playing at New Orleans. Kawhi Leonard won't be on the court next to him in this one, resting with knee injury management. Already in action, Miami at Cleveland, fourth quarter, and the Heat have a 96-82 lead. Kristaps Porzingis making his return to Madison Square Garden. He'll lead Dallas against the next college ball. Number 17, Florida, tied with Towson at the half at 30. It's on ESPN.
Hey, it's the guys coming up on the show Friday. John Leguizamo and Greg Cody as our guest co-host. I read with John Leguizamo because I had to say that name quickly because I wasn't certain I could pronounce it. But I did. That's Friday in the Dan Le Batard Show with me, Gats at ESPN Radio.
This is Spain and Company on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Welcome back to Spain and Company. Sarah Spain, Clinton Yates with you on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. Guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, including our next guest, Packers wide receiver Allen Lazard, joining us now. Allen, thanks for making some time for us. I'm going to come right out and say it. I'm a Chicago Bears fan. I just want to put that out there. I'm going to do my best to be a professional.
That's how we started off?
Yeah, I just want to put it. I don't want to lead you down a golden path and not be honest and up front.
Fair enough. I like you shooting me straight.
Yeah, I'll shoot you straight. Also, Aaron Rodgers is my favorite player, so that's a real conundrum for me. So that just tells you
Okay,
that I
yeah.
got nothing against the Packers other than, all the usual stuff.
Fair enough.
Okay, so
I
let's
can make
talk
an
about
exception.
yeah. Let's talk about playing with Aaron Rodgers. You caught your first NFL touchdown against the Lions this year. What's it like working with a guy as talented as he is and as particular as he is?
It's honestly truly humbling just because I just see his work ethic every single day. Just on how detailed he is. And then I think the best thing that he does well is his communication. Because he is so detailed and so picky, he does a really good job of communicating that, of what he wants to get accomplished with plays and routes and whatnot, to us receivers and really to the whole offense, so we can all be on the same page.
Alan, you're a guy from Iowa who went to college in Iowa, relative outpost in the football world, and are now playing at the biggest sort of outpost in the NFL. There's something about Green Bay as
nice
an
word for it,
environment
outpost.
that, feels like home to you in terms of, the community that you're involved in, not just playing in.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time that Green Bay is just a glorified Ames. And what I mean by that is that Ames has a phenomenal fan base and, a really good program going on right now. And with the difference is obviously the 14 world champions to the 0 national championships at Iowa State. So what Coach Campbell's doing there right now, I think he's leading them in the right direction to make Ames a contender with Green Bay.
Talking to Alan Lazard, wide receiver for the Packers, I mean, there is something very special about Green Bay. The stadium is right in people's backyards. I've gone and done the sort of yard gating out there.
Yeah.
Does it feel different for you, when you go to college somewhere that's, a big college town and then end up in Green Bay than maybe what it was like in Jacksonville, where that feels like a full NFL town?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a little bit of cultural differences and whatnot, just from being in the Midwest, really almost Canada, to all the way down in Florida. Obviously, the significant climate changes as well. But I really enjoy just the vibe and energy around Green Bay and the way that the community is really supporting our team this year.
Getting back to football, though.
Oh, sorry.
My bad. Matt LaFleur. I mean, he's a guy who's been under a lot of different, I don't want to say scrutiny, but, the preseason was awkward in terms of the relationship between him and Rodgers. What was it like sort of being around that as the guy that knows you've got to be a part of this team anyway, but you've seen so many different, sort of, I don't know, accusations go out about who's doing what in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to make their own opinions about what's going to happen and what's going on right now. But I think one thing that we have established during camp in the preseason was that we just worried about what's going on in our locker room, and we were only going to care about each other. So as long as we go out there every single week and we go out there and fight for each other, we don't have to worry about what everyone else is saying.
Alan Lazard with us here on Spain and Company, Sarah Spain, Clinton Yates. Before the show, I was scrolling through your Twitter. You're very active on social media. You're promoting your Lazard King gear.
Yes.
You've got
Yes.
the cheese heads that look like King's hats and all that stuff. But you're also really hyped about other people's good play, whether it's your own teammates or even a guy like David Montgomery who's playing for a rival with the Bears, NBA guys that you're shouting out and messaging, Zlatan, who we were just talking about, you're playing, retweeting something about him. You just is this a positivity thing for you? You're about lifting other people up?
Absolutely. I feel like, the way social media is nowadays and how much of it out there. I just try to put as much good energy back out there.
Alan, you also got a little swag, though, man. I see you trying to get your style on out here. Tell me a little bit about what it's like being an athlete in the fashion world and seeing all these other guys do it and what you try to do, not just to keep up, but yourself as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely not the most fashionable person. Anyone that knows me from when I've grown up, that's definitely not who I am. But it's something that I've definitely started to grow on me and has really piqued my interest. And, I feel like it's a way to express myself and who I am.
Alan, Matt LaFleur is very young. Like, I feel like I was wondering if the tension between Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur early on was just like two young, good-looking dudes just battling it out. Aaron's not used to his coach being able to, like, bring some swag to the table, lining up next to him. Tell us something about Matt LaFleur that we don't know as this super young NFL coach.
Honestly, So when we first came back, I thought the coolest thing that I remember is the first meeting we had back when he was first the head coach in April. He had installed a basketball hoop in the team room, and we had music playing as we're walking in the room. And usually between meetings and stuff, he's always playing something on YouTube. Usually kind of go along with whoever we're playing with that week with the city and whatnot. But he just, brings a really good energy. And